Hello everyone and welcome to not just another week of GeoGuessr World League, but the final week of the GeoGuessr World League. I'm Toby, I'm joined by Gelotris, and I guess Gelotris, for one final time, I get to ask you, how are you doing today?
Yeah, you're asking me every Sunday and I'm saying yes, I'm happy. This time I'm a bit sad, also happy, but a bit sad. It's the last day. We are coming to an end of this pro series. I am still, of course, as I already said, happy to be here. Happy to witness it for last time together with you, Toby.
It's an amazing day. It's a day of many emotions, both happy and sad, as you're saying, Gelotris. And for those of you guys who've been watching along for all 21 weeks, thank you. It's been a great time, and we're still far from done with the year of GeoGuessr as a whole. For those of you guys tuning in for the first time, maybe today, welcome. We enjoy having you here. And for you, let's now quickly go over exactly how GeoGuessr works, because it really is a pretty simple game in the sense that you get thrown down on Google Street View anywhere on the world, and then it's up to you to figure out where you are. The closer to the target you are, the more points you're gonna receive. And then, of course, you play one-on-ones versus an opponent, and whoever is closer get more points, meaning that the distance between the two guesses is accumulated into damage to the opponent. That was a terrible way of explaining it, but I think you understand. And of course, we have game modes, and Gelotris, swiftly, go.
Yeah, we have 3 game modes. I'm trying to explain it as simple as it can get. We have the move mode first. That's the first mode they play in the best of 3 game mode, where you can jump from image to image. You can move through the streets on the location where you spawn in. Whereas on the second game, in the no move game, as it already says, you cannot move. You can look around, you can look at your surroundings, you have a 360, can look anywhere you want, but you can't move. And if we don't have a winner in round 2, we will go over to the NMPZ game mode, where you have a still image. You cannot move, you cannot pan around, you cannot zoom, you just get an image.
Exactly. And on top of all of this, of course, we have a point system, because it is a professional league after all. Players play in best of 3s, meaning that should you go out and win 2-0, you get 3 points, the opponent gets no points. And should it end in a 2-1, going all the way to an NPC, then the winner gets 2 points, the loser gets 1. And then you think, that 1 point, what does it really matter? Well, we will show you in a second. It matters quite a bit. Because when you put those 1-point performances together over the course of 21 weeks of GeoGuessr, we get a leaderboard that looks something like this. It is insanely close, Gelotris. As you can see here, 21 out of 21 weeks having been played, will be played by the end of today, I should say. But what really matters right now is this leaderboard right here. Because this is what they're all fighting for. They're fighting for spots at their regional majors. We have APAC, Americas, and EMEA respectively. And quickly, I'll say, APAC, it's really a 2-horse race. It's Spaghette versus Kirania. Fenip and above are in pretty much guaranteed, and Kent don't have enough games left to play that he'll be able to make it through. As a matter of fact, he's played all his games. So it's Kirania versus Spaghette for that 6th place spot. Americas is pretty much locked in as well, but then we have EMEA. Just briefly, if possible, briefly, talk me through EMEA, because it is so close.
We have gone through it, and we went back and forth. We went back some weeks, and look what happened there to determine what happens if they die, what happens if not, who's gonna make it, who's not gonna make it, because as we can see, it is very, very, very close points-wise. You have pretty much Mada, who we see is on the leaderboard to go to the majors with 58 points, whereas Pan is shown at risk with the same amount of points. Yep. So there's really not much difference between those two players, and therefore, as you already explained on the point system, you really aim for that 2-0 win to get that extra point. It is so important. Just winning isn't enough here.
Exactly. Of course, Mada does have one more game left to play than Pan does, so there's a good chance that he could stay above. But then we have V89, who's still missing 4 games. Malfunction is playing today as well with 2 games to play. Trishta only has 1 game left to play, and Clement as well has 2. So from Clement all the way down to V89, it is still a practically impossible to call race between these 6 players. Effectively, we have 6 players fighting for the bottom 3 spots in EMEA. So now let's take a look at the schedule, the games that we're going to be seeing. We're starting off with Clement taking on Lero. I will go out on a limb here and say that if Clement manages to get, well, I mean, if he gets 3 points, he should be pretty safe. If he gets the 2, he's probably safe. If he gets 1 or 0, it's still very much an open race. But we are focusing today's games on the players that have something to win or to lose in these matchups. I think that's doing the tournament justice, and it's gonna be... we get to see Mada play, we get to see Kratsooo take on Kirania, we get to see back-to-back Spaghette games, so the APAC race is really on here, Gelotris, and then we get to see Malfunction play twice as well. We get her games in. It's gonna be an insane day of GeoGuessr.
I do agree. It's like either there is something on the line for those plays, or it's just a good match between players who are already settled and are calm about their rankings, but still very great players facing each other. So really everything covered today, Toby. I'm looking forward.
Exciting. This is exactly the way that we wanted it to be. I mean, even in the first couple of weeks we said, because the points are so few, like 3 points there, 2 points there, 1 point there, you're almost guaranteed that to some extent it's going to be close. And honestly, I thought that we were going to have across all regions 1 or 2 players fighting for it. But the fact that we in the final week have 6 players who can still upset the leaderboard in EMEA is insane to me. So practically impossible to call at this point. It's going to be up to the players to go out and make it happen. And then keep in mind again, later tonight, V89, who is currently the lowest seeded of these 6, is playing 3 matches. So if somehow he can upset the whole thing and just come in and pretty much just ignore anything you and I have talked about during the early broadcast today, that would be insane. So there's a lot of GeoGuessr to watch, and just excitement across the board, Gelotris.
Yeah, there's gonna be all eyes on V89 pretty much in this evening. He can really turn the tables around, as you already said. So yeah, I'm looking forward for those games. I'm looking forward for the games in this time slot that we have right now. So yeah.
It's going to be a good time, and why not get straight into it? We're looking at Lero, who's taking on Clement. Of course, we'll try and keep you guys up to date with anything leaderboard related throughout the day. If you want to, you can hop over to geoguessr.com/world-championship if you want to have the leaderboard up yourself as well. It should update after every game, so make sure that you're as informed as possible. But to break it down quickly again, we have Clement taking on Lero, and for Clement, I mean, if you get a win here, you're in before your final game. And I think for Clement's sake, he would really want it. Lero is already in APAC. He's sitting solid up there at 65 points. But Clement really wants at least 2 points on the board here to breathe easy coming into the final game.
That's what he is thriving for in this matchup. But he didn't get the easiest opponent to do that against. He's playing against Lero. We just saw the stats. Lero is a little bit ahead on the win rate, which might be a bit scary for Clement, but he seems locked in to me, starting off in Israel here.
When we get the brain cam, you know they're locked in. Their heads are simply too big to have the entire thing on screen. So not wasting any time, zooming down the street as fast as can be to get to valuable info. It's funny, I feel like oftentimes people, when it's Israel, you know, tend to have a pretty good vibe immediately and just kind of send it. But seems like both Lero and Clement taking a little bit of extra time here to get a good log in.
Yeah, not
Lero,
too
first look at the map. Yeah.
That you are in a very urban environment like this, so you probably move around and hope for that sign that will tell you the city. Well, we have the coastline, so we know we are somewhere along the coast, but still a couple cities that are possible, as we can see.
Good start.
That is very far south.
Yeah, not too much happening here in round number 1, but of course with the multiplier stacking, we know that these damage meters will only increase. So now, take ourselves into round number 2.
We are in round 2 indeed. We have this single yellow line, which you see a lot in the Americas. Single yellow is a good indicator for Canada, Mexico, Colombia, Guatemala. Out of those countries, Mexico does make the most sense here.
It's actually going to be a bit further towards the northwest, a little off both of them. I mean, Clement, of course, getting the vibe in early on, wanted to change the pace a bit from that slow Israel round. A bit off because of it. As we now look into round number 3.
We are indeed still in the Americas. We are in the United States. We don't have a front plate. I cannot make out the back plate. We are getting more signs towards us, though it doesn't look too helpful. Now the players are probably looking for either a state abbreviation or an area code, maybe.
For beginner chatters like me who's sometimes in doubt of whether they're in USA or Canada, if it says maximum on the speed sign, you're in Canada. If it says what's said there, you're in the US. There you go.
Indeed, and we get the right state.
I'm slowly getting good enough to give noob info across to the chat. That's always good. But a big hit, big round 3 hit damage towards Clement there. Now, what do you want to see happening if you're him?
Indeed, and this looks like a Brazil round. We have those ladder poles, which you see a lot in Brazil. And most importantly, especially in an urban environment, you are looking for area codes, because you see them very frequently in Brazil, and they do help. Most of these players will know them, of course, and that's also what they are looking for.
Is Brazil one of those countries where, despite the massive size of the country, area codes are actually somewhat learnable because there aren't a lot of them? Or is it one of those where there's just an infinite amount of area codes and you have to really be big brain in order to understand them all?
It is very, very learnable because you have them clustered in their first digits, but then again you can learn the second digit to get even more precise. If you don't want to go that far, you can still learn the first digit, which is pretty easy to learn.
I thought Clement was zooming into Turkey there for a second, had me worried. He's gonna go Manaus. Lero is gonna go further towards the north, but he found it, locks it in 300 meters out, and that's gonna be game in round 4. 1 point secured by Clement after an insane lockdown in Brazil.
That was a quick one, Toby. Really, really nice guess from Clement, getting that right, and that's why it's so important to be precise in Brazil. On a big country like that, especially if you're out there in Amazonas, there is a lot of distance between the next cities, which will give you a good amount of points.
We had a chat with Clement last week after the games were done, talking to him about the value of course, being the only Danish player in the World League, knowing that the World Championship finals are going to be in Denmark, how much it would mean to him to be potentially the only representative from here in the finals, and he said it would mean everything. So good for him to be up so far. He's going to get a good start here in this Italy round as well, coming in to no move.
Indeed, it's always, yeah, but special and extra if you have someone, of course, from the country competing where it's also held. Automatically got a lot of the fan base rooting for you. And I hope that you will also root for Clement, of course.
I try not to. I try to be unbiased, but I can't help waving a
World
little
Cup.
Danish flag, you know. I try to be unbiased, but there's a smile on my face when I see him do well.
We are in Ukraine, it seems like. We have some language. Good indicator to distinguish between Russia and Ukraine is the I letter, which you only find in Ukraine.
Taking their time here, limited info to go by. They both go back to the sign time and time again. That really is the only, like, text info they have available.
I don't know if we had an area code. They are also learnable because they pretty much go in a good pattern in Ukraine from west to east.
Lero up the swing further west over towards Dub. No, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. 1200 damage taken here in round number 2, setting him down at just above 4200. Clement still flawless. Again, I mean, if he can net himself just 2 points off of this game, he should be good. As we now, at least potentially, look towards New Zealand.
We are indeed in New Zealand. We have those poles. They somewhat look like Chilean poles, but especially with that possum guard, that brownish strip around it. That's something you see more in New Zealand.
Zigzag put out a video today with info on all countries. The first hint in the video is a New Zealand hint on these exact fences, so good on you, Zigzag, for sharing that info with us earlier on.
Was it the distance between the post and the fence?
Yeah.
If it's a bit wider, it's more in the South Island, as it was in this case.
It was here.
And if the fence posts are spammed and have very tight gaps, that's more of a clue for the North Island.
There you go.
And it worked right here.
Definitely did. Into round 4 we go. Score somewhat tied after a bigger hit onto Clement here in round 3. Now round 4 is upon us.
Yes, we are in Poland indeed. A pine forest, but a good indication is the yellow filled sign. Which is something you see a lot in Poland as well. Interestingly, they also both end up in the same region.
Yeah. Trained in the same school of GeoGuessr. Usually sends them to the same facilities. So now, head into round 5.
Indeed, and in first glance it looks like we are back in the United States to me. I need to look at some more clues. Don't really see them so far. Looks like we don't have any front plates yet again. You don't see in every state. It's a couple.
No,
can't really make it.
Trash bin there in the distance, but not a whole lot of info to move around of. Just to reiterate, here in match number 2, it is no move. So no, they're stuck in place, glued to the ground. They can spin around, zoom in and zoom out, but they are very much locked in position.
Yeah, I don't see any strong clues for the north, and also not much strong clues for the south. So I would say we are somewhere in the center of sanities, but
yeah. One in Kansas, one in Arkansas, it seems. As the timer does go out, Clement will be closer. Once again, limited in distance, but still with the multipliers, 1800 damage comes through.
That's a great guess from Clement as well. I would say it's pretty committed because I couldn't see it being any further west of where he guessed. So in that case, I would say it was very committed, but also getting rewarded for getting the right state there.
Ooh,
in Kansas. Yeah, we can see the low cam. Soon to be in many, many more countries, by the way.
Whoa!
Getting released more and more. But for now, it's still a very good clue for Switzerland to have that white blur around you.
Small damage in a small country, but that's just going to increase the multipliers as we once again swing back to the US. Clement instantly looking towards the East Coast.
Yes, we have a city name on the trash bin this time. Or it's readable this time, I should say.
Wait, did he find it?
It's starting with C-O. They are like padding a bit. Does it say Cornelia or something like that?
Any representatives from Georgia, let us know. Because they're both hovering on the western side of Georgia.
They are looking for it.
Oh, he found it! Clement got it!
Yes. That looks good.
Let's see if they went to another city to buy trash cans, or if it's gonna be it. Because if Lero doesn't find it, if he commits to the south here, this could be very dangerous with 4 times multiplier. He's gonna commit west. Clement is on point. And is it gonna be enough? Yes, it is! 3 points for Clement.
Wow. That was not just very important for Clement, but also very well played by him. So good on Clement getting the 3 points he was aiming for here.
To do so against a guy like Lero. I mean, Lero, a player we've seen take out multiple very, very top-end players. And I don't want to say made it look easy, but I don't feel like Lero ever really had a chance to strike back in this one.
No, definitely also, by the way, Clement won was like the Brazil round where he found the information.
Yeah.
Got him a little bit more precise. He found it quicker in that case. And also on the no move, we saw them both scanning pretty much the same state. They both knew it is Georgia. They were looking for the city. Clement again had that extra speed in finding it quicker. And that's pretty much how he got the 2 wins here.
Yeah, big for him. Again, I mean, this should take him out of the equation. But for the guys in the Hunt, V89, Malfunction, Mada, all the players fighting down there, that's effectively 1 spot. Like, we were fighting for 3 spots now. We're effectively down to just 2. Trishta, Mada, currently sat in. You can see Pan coming out with a good start here. Able to get a point. It's going to sit up ahead of Malfunction. As it's only getting closer. And with every single game, there's fewer and fewer spots to fight for.
It's going to be interesting for sure. As I said, I'm looking so forward for the next upcoming games because they will decide a lot for a lot of players.
It's insane. And again, you know what, I'm just going to put the link in chat real quick for those of you guys who don't have it already. If I'm allowed to, we'll see. You can hop over here if you want to have the leaderboard. You can F5, Control R, whatever, refresh it all the time if you want to keep up to date with the various games that are taking place. As we are now going into match number 2. It's Eamonn versus Mada. Mada currently in the top spot. Not necessarily going to stay there. We'll see how this one's going to pan out.
Not necessarily, as you said, and that's why I think we have the eyes on Mada in this matchup. We have the stats shown. It's my prediction for this match. We see them being both on 58 points.
Yep.
But as we already said, Mada is looking more towards the win here.
Oh, yeah.
He's a very strong moving player, Mada. He's a very, very strong moving player, so therefore maybe he can get that first win off of Eamonn, and if he gets that momentum, he could go for the 2-0. Anything can possible here. Anything can be possible in this matchup, though.
Definitely.
Let's see where we start, and it looks like we are in the Americas again. My first swipe is British Columbia.
Okay.
In
because of the
Canada,
pines
based
and the
on
hills?
the looks. Yes,
Yeah.
just the landscape and how it looks. But the further we move, the more I think that we might be United States, maybe Washington.
Beautiful water. What do we have there in the distance? A for sale sign, maybe. There's a phone number on it. Eamonn looking towards the northeastern corner up by Spaghette in Washington State.
I think that area code in North Washington is 3... No.
Well, regardless, he's going to go up there. Mada is going to follow, though.
I think it's 360. Do we have a 360 there?
Yeah, all the way
Maybe.
up there.
Eamonn is on it, and it was indeed Washington, both getting the right state. But Eamonn bringing down a better region guess there.
He was all the way up there to begin with as well, but upped it to kind of default down by a little bit. I think had he stayed up there, could have been even bigger. But of course, it being round 1 was never going to be that huge in terms of damage when they're both sat in the same state. As we now head into round number 2.
Indeed, and we are in Argentina here, it looks like, based on the poles and the very, very flat landscape. With how green it is. Very difficult. Urban Argentina can be very difficult. A lot of cities look the
San
same.
Francisco.
However, we have some very good signs.
Don't get baited, chat. Don't get baited.
Hopefully, they will pick up that the San Francisco in Argentina. And Mada looks very close with his guess.
Let's see.
Based on the information he had and the towns we have surrounding.
Wow.
He is indeed in the right city.
You know what? I love to see the players with everything on the line. I mean, not to take anything away from Eamonn and Lero we saw before, but they're already in. I mean, for them, this is more stay warm games, and of course, they want to maintain their top spots in the APAC region. But for Mada and for Clement, we saw in the previous game being fully locked in here. It means a lot to them. So let's see if they're going to get it.
Correct. And we have a very quick guess from Mada. He saw some information on the sign. I couldn't really pick it up. What he saw, probably a town name, which made him guess northeast immediately. Eamonn again getting the right vibes as well. I think it said Botoshani, which is the town around there. Mada getting a bit closer once again.
Let's see. Into round 4 we go, and out into the wilderness there to follow. I say wilderness, there's plenty of houses around here.
Indeed. I mean, in first glance it looks like we are in the jungle. But yep, a little bit of elevation as well. We are in the Philippines. They are both probably looking for a province name here on these signs, which are very, very helpful. In the Philippines, you see them a lot on a lot of signs. There are a total of 81 provinces in the Philippines.
Just learn them
they
forehead.
get the right one.
Yep. Eamonn, plenty of info available to him now as well. He's going to go further north.
It's saying Cebu City on that.
It's pretty good info.
Interestingly, because that is very far from where Mada guessed.
Well, let's see who's going to get it. It's going to be Mada. Eamonn is confused. And understandably so. That was a bait. We had San Francisco in the previous one. That was too easy to not get them fooled. But this one, an advertisement on the other island.
Yes, that made Eamonn definitely think it is Cebu City, but
can't really fault
it. It isn't too rare in the Philippines to have a random town name in the middle of nowhere being 200 kilometers off. That does happen occasionally. But of course you still trust it most of the times. As we go over to this round, we are in Australia. So let's see, what are they looking for here? They are probably trying to either exit the town and get some maybe signs to the next cities which are nearby. To use that, or stay in the city and look if you get a city name within it.
Oh, they're both kind of stuck in this maze of houses. At least right now, Mada spinning left and right, can't find its way out. Able to now spot a truck with some info on the back end of it, but I'm not sure exactly what he's seeing.
Has a yellow plate, so it should be New South Wales. And it was indeed just southwest of Sydney. Mada tried to head it a bit more towards the north, not losing too many points. By doing that, and we go over to the next round, which to me looks like the United States, somewhere in the south maybe. With that vegetation, a lot of pines, a lot of southern pines. So we have a Mississippi guess from Eamonn. I don't know if he has something that's telling him Mississippi or if he just trusts his vibes here to turn this game around.
Well, multipliers could definitely get the better of him if it turns out to be elsewhere. Mada is going to go right in between Georgia and Alabama. This is going to be right on the border. It's going to be enough, and yes, it will be. Mada takes game number 1, a much-needed point acquired by him, but now it's going to be up to this no-move game to determine whether Mada is going to go away from here with 3, or if 2 is going to be the maximum available. But at least, importantly, he's secured himself 1 guaranteed.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Mada, as I said, is a very great moving player, and getting that first win down gives you some confidence, gives you a good boost, gives you some momentum. Let's see if it will help Mada on the no-move game. Right now, starting off in what seems like Thailand.
What sent you to Thailand
Based on the vegetation, the soil color, the fences. It's really a mixture of everything. That's very common for Thailand here. It could always be Cambodia, but think it's more likely to be Thailand.
Is that part of the reason why they opt to go east? Just to be sure that if it is, in fact, Cambodia... Like, it's not obviously not a fully hitch, but is that what sends them east, or was there anything else in that round that...
You, as a general rule, you have more of these flatlands with very red soil in the east in Thailand.
Makes sense.
Whereas in the west, you get more mountains and the soil gets less red. So that's what they put them to the east there.
Quick peek out all the way towards the eastern tip of Brazil from Mada. Now Eamonn joins him.
Yep. In this case, we don't have any what we call supports. There are no support bars on the tops of the pole, which they are looking for. That's a very common thing in the northeast, far northeast in Brazil. Another good clue are cacti. We have some cacti here, which you also see in northern Bahia, all the way to the northeast. So they both end up hovering in that region, trying to use the terrain, look at the mountains, how big they are, to rule in or rule out some places in the northeast.
Yep. Mada locks into Sergipe, if that's pronounced correctly. Sergipe, I don't know. But nonetheless, that's where he's at. We'll see if Eamonn is going to opt to change up his guesses just a bit towards the west, but he's going to log in, and they're both going to be very close to the target. 100 kilometers in between them. It's going to amount to a total of 575, but good guess on both parts nonetheless.
Yeah, even though it looked like a very close guess from Eamonn, that is a Brazil moment to still be 168 kilometers off. Does happen quick. In that country, now, what do we have here? We are somewhere in some hilly, I want to say plains, but it is kind of mountainous.
Any cow meta experts?
There are actually some clues for where you get which cows in Brazil.
Fair enough. Well, let's see if it's going to send them to Wyoming this time around. Eamonn jumps back into Montana, and it's going to be in Wyoming, just a bit further towards the south. Once again, just over 100 kilometers in between, but you can see how those multipliers stack up, because now that was 800, so adding effectively 300 damage to the same distance guessing as previous round.
Yes, Mada is playing very, very well so far, getting very precise with his guesses as we go on to round 4 in Peru. We are in a very urban environment, which you don't like to see, because it's kind of hard to make a good region guess based on that. You can't really use the landscape, which is also a very hard task in Peru to make a guess based on the landscape. But I feel like it's getting even harder in an urban environment because you don't really have regional architecture clues in Peru.
Is it the fake key box on the wall that tells you Peru?
For me, it was for once that yellow plate on the one car and the poles, like that. It pretty much shapes the E letter on the top. You see it on Eamonn's screen right now in the distance. Yeah, that is giving you Peru here.
Peru, big enough country to dish out some big damage, and it's gonna be Mada close. What a guess! Eamonn sat hundreds of kilometers off, and now down to 169.
Now, if Mada would have clicked inside the city, I think he could have turned it around. Yeah, would have decided it, but Eamonn's still in it. We are in Iceland. Indeed, very, very beautiful.
Can we just chill in this location for a bit? It's very beautiful.
Yeah, please don't
guess, guys. Just let the timer run out. You need to 5k this anyway, so just chill. Oh, and then they get their map up and look into the ground just because they don't want to show us the beautiful mountains in the distance. It's fair enough. They have a lot to fight for.
It's a beautiful road. It's a beautiful road. We do appreciate us giving the looks on the nice pavement here. But yeah, for those at home watching, thinking, why would you ever look down on the road? Doesn't that make it harder to get a good guess in? It's because the players are lining up the road, so you know the alignment of the road. We also have this river, which they are looking for on the map.
Very
see them finding it yet.
Yellow bullets there indicating Iceland. 21 being surprised by how they knew where they were. They're both going to be up there, and I feel like they were both at a moment of a 5k potential, but is this going to be enough? No, just exactly not. Eamonn loses half health and, well, stays in the race.
Again, it could have been game for Mada.
Oh, yeah.
But now we are in Colombia. I'm not sure if we are east of the Andes. I mean, we have big mountains to the west and flatness to the east. That given, it might make sense, because that's really what's happening in the east of the Andes, where you get that total flatness to the east and big mountains to the west. And they are using the terrain here to make a guess, again lining up the road, looking for where we are along the Andes mountain range.
I don't want to do the math here, but I feel like Eamonn and Mada can be 5 maybe kilometers apart on their guesses, and Eamonn could fall because of it. So let's see now, Mada. First one to log in. This could be huge. They're not completely on top of one another, so distance could definitely be enough for one to win. It's going to be Mada closer. It's going to be him out victorious, and again, much needed 3 points acquired.
Wow. Very, very impressive game by Mada. I mean, Eamonn was always also on a technique, again, on the right road here. Was on the right road in Iceland. It all came down pretty much to the Peru round, I would say, where Mada really committed far south on an urban environment like that. And he really got rewarded there for that commitment.
Flawless no move against Eamonn. Incredibly impressive. But we're going straight into another game, because we are in NMPC, and it's Kirania versus Blinky. Okay. Important thing to note here, Kirania has already guaranteed himself 1 point. Coming into this matchup, he was 3 points behind Spaghette. Of course, Kirania and Spaghette, the two players who are currently fighting to try and take the last spot in APAC, but he's already guaranteed himself at least 1 point against Blinky.
Yeah, and especially against Blinky, getting a point against Blinky. If you look back to the league, not many players were able to do that.
True. That is true.
So especially against Blinky, it's a very good point.
And of course, we will get to see both of Spaghette's matches later today. So it's kind of nice, actually, that we get to line things up here with Kirania playing in first, and then see if Spaghette can maintain what currently is his spot in the APAC Majors.
Indeed, and they take a pretty long time on this one, I must say. I don't know if they will ever fight this bridge, but I respect it. I respect a couple more extra seconds to look for it. Interestingly enough, they also end up in the same region, so maybe they both had that vibe over there and were scanning there for it.
I don't have this confirmed, but chat is saying that Kirania won in moving, which is pretty insane considering that he's up against Blinky. So that could even have been a 3-point match against Blinky. That would have been completely unheard of.
That is insane. I didn't even think about it because I just assumed that it might have been the moving game for Blinky and no move for Kirania, but that's interesting to know. So thanks for sharing that information.
That is insane. Again, I mean, going back to what we were saying before, it's the guys in need of points that are coming out here fighting hard today, knowing what's on the line. Kirania here, first one to get the guess in as well, as both of them set 100 kilometers south of the target.
Yeah, both getting a decent region guess here for Peru standards.
There's a lot of math that can be done here, but it would be huge for him to get 2 points over just one. He's 3 points behind Spaghette. Spaghette has 2 games left to play. And Spaghette won in their tiebreaker. So should it come to them being tied in points, because Spaghette beat Kirania when they played one another, Spaghette would win that tiebreaker. So Kirania can't just settle for a tied score. He has to beat Spaghette.
Toby, this is an interesting round.
Tell me.
We had a Po Valley hover from Kirania first. Switch up to Croatia. I did like the Po Valley guess more in Italy. Yes, and he will not like the change of his guess there, because that is game.
Okay. So 1 point for Kirania. Blinky remains supreme, even if he does lose moving. I think for Kirania, of course, as much as he would have wanted those extra points after winning the moving game, getting away with the point against Blinky is still very respectable.
Indeed, indeed, definitely, as I already said, especially against Blinky. That is a very sweet point, and he made it close. He made it close. He was in the Po Valley. He was there for a long time. He switched to Croatia. My assumption is that he maybe used the seasonal meta, because you have a lot of fall foggy coverage in Croatia. maybe that's what made him change his guess there. But yeah, Blinky was unfazed. He knew it is the Po Valley. He was very confident with his guess. Securing him the win.
Zigzag able to get himself a 2-0 over Yannick as well. It's gonna push him further up the overall leaderboard as well. And then coming up next is gonna be Kirania versus Kratsooo. Kirania's final chance to get points on the board. If we can get a look at the regional leaderboard as well, then we can see that Kirania has pushed himself up to 2 points behind Spaghette. Now keep in mind, Kirania only has 1 game left. So if he wins his game 2-0, he sets at 50. That would then mean that Spaghette has to get 2-0'd 2 games in a row in order to not reclaim that spot. So, I mean...
There's still a chance. There's still a chance.
Kirania he has to win this game 2-0 over Kratsooo. How do you like his odds?
Yeah, I mean, I was making, of course, my thoughts. I was going through my thoughts before the day started, and I was looking at the games and which games Kirania needs to win. And I saw him facing both Blinky and Kratsooo, who are both very good at moving. It was like Kirania will have a hard time beating them, but now that I've heard Kirania beat Blinky on the moving game, I could see the same case being happening against Kratsooo.
It's gonna be close, no doubt about it. Whew. But we're gonna go to a short break. Let us know who you think is gonna come out victorious in this race, as we're gonna take a look at Kirania and Kratsooo right after this.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea. GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup? Denmark? Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably, I welcome you to Copenhagen in the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals. Welcome back, everyone, to the GeoGuessr World League. I'm Toby, joined by Gelotris. If you only joined us right now, where have you been? And also welcome. We hope you're here to stay. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great day, because we are at the 21st week of 21 weeks of the GeoGuessr World League. And Gelotris, it is getting scary close.
It is indeed. I mean, we have always talked about it during the weeks. We knew it's gonna be close, but I didn't expect it to be this close.
True. No, it's getting quite interesting, and also now arguably as interesting as can be, because we have Kirania now about to take on Kratsooo, and we know that there's only one spot left to fight for in APAC, and it's only Kirania and Spaghette who are there to fight for it. And though I told production I didn't need to see this, but if we can get the regional leaderboard up while we're waiting for the game to get started, we can see it here. Kirania has 1 game left. Spaghette has 2. Kirania is currently sat 2 points behind Spaghette. Now, the issue is, because the tiebreaker is a head-to-head, meaning that if Spaghette and Kirania is tied in points, it's whoever won the match between the two that ends up in first. That means Kirania needs to finish ahead of Spaghette in order to take away his spot, effectively meaning, Kirania, my man, you have 1 mission in this matchup. You need to 2-0 Kratsooo. And that's where I now go over to my expert, Gelotris, who tells me, is that possible?
That is possible, but Kirania also needs to prey on Spaghette's downfall afterwards.
Yep.
But for now,
well,
he will focus on this game.
One thing at a time.
For now, he will focus on this game, and he really needs that focus, because Kratsooo will not make it easy by any means.
Oh, yeah.
Especially starting off in a moving format.
Oh,
where we know that Kratsooo is a very, very strong player on. Kirania did pull off a win against Blinky on moving. So it can happen. Will it happen twice, though?
It could. And it needs to. Of course, I mean, you're right, completely right in the sentiment that not only does he need to win it, Spaghette also needs to get 0 points. But none of that matters if he does not come out here and gets himself a 2-0 against Kratsooo, which is very unlikely. But let's see if Kirania has it in him to make this one exciting.
Indeed, and Kirania is zoomed in immediately. Looks like Kratsooo is zooming in and out, looking at those parks bordering Bolivia and Chile on the Chile side.
Are we back to famous roads?
this
Or what,
side.
since they know exactly where to be?
More or less, I mean, this landscape happens in a couple places along the border. From then on, you need to learn the cloud formations to distinguish between them.
Oh.
So if they've learned the different cloud formations for each region there, it can help.
Cloud meta, that's when we go from there's one universe to multiple universe, unlimited multiverse potentials, and oh wow, what a start for Kirania. 1,000 damage in round 1, not something you see too often, especially not against a player like Kratsooo.
Starting off very, very strong. Of course, he's not too happy to have that in round 1, because that one could have decided the game already in round 4 or 5 if you have put some points down. But still, having this much of a lead, especially in a moving game, is a good thing to have. So we move over to round 2. Which looks like Italy. We have some signs on Kirania's side. Looking through it, I don't know if he will get the needed information here. We have some body of water. Not too helpful in Italy, usually. We have a lot
You're
of
trying to tell me
water
there's a lot of
across.
water?
But I mean, you know, the direction,
Ooh.
because that's always the case. We had the same on my tournament yesterday where we had a Sardinia guess and an East Coast guess, which is very far from each other in Italy, and seems like we have the same thing happening here right now. Kratsooo is on the East Coast, whereas Kirania is in Sardinia.
Oh.
Considering it now, hovering with the map over it, trying to go for the
Hedge it.
water hedge to play it safe and reduce damage in case it is. But it is there indeed. He's not losing many points by going into the water there. But again, 1,500 points is very, very strong in round 2.
Definitely. I mean, Kratsooo down to half health 2 rounds in is very unheard of, you'd have to say. So we now see, was there a little blue marker on that hole there?
I'm not sure.
If
Was
so,
there?
Victoria
If so,
confirmed.
Indeed.
Toby has learnable
Let's
meta in
go.
Australia yesterday. We were practicing, me and Chet, and we learned things.
Let's go. Love to hear that. You're also looking at those kind of sneaky metas and make a guess based on that. I mean, Kirania, as we know, is from Australia. Not only from Australia, also a very good Australian player. Or
I'm guessing there wasn't
Australia
one
player.
since Kirania is now up towards the north.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. But it's not the easiest location, I must say. Not easy to region guess this one. Kratsooo did reach a sign, which Kirania was missing, but still ending up in somewhat of the same region.
Both making
Kratsooo
their way
gets
north.
closer that way.
Yep, and it's going to be Kratsooo able to strike back. 1,000 and some damage done to Kirania. It's going to try and keep this game as close as can be. Still, Kirania in with the lead coming into round 4. We're giving him all the
Yes, and we
chances
are
to get this today.
Back, but this time it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the landscape or the vegetation in Darwin is just too distinct. Also, the tint on this road and all that. I don't know. Darwin just looks very, very recognizable compared to other cities in Australia, which makes this easy for both.
The game is trying to tell us something. They want to give Kirania a chance. We'll see if maybe he was only getting Australia rounds against Blinky as well. Maybe that's what happened. Nah, I'm not gonna doubt his performance against him. As we now, well, no more Australia for us. At least not this time around.
Nope, we are in India with some language which looks like Hindi. Should be Hindi. Still a lot of the country that you can consider with that language. We had
So?
that infinity sign though, I think, which you get in Maharashtra.
Kratsooo sets up south of Mumbai. Seems like Kirania is gonna join him. That's exactly where you were saying, but he's gonna go further inland by quite the margin, actually.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be him closer. By
Indeed.
200 some kilometers.
Yeah, in Maharashtra they have like one special letter which looks like an infinity sign, and I think they both picked up on that. Maybe it's a little clue how you can distinguish between the other regions that speak Hindi. And now we have a Gotland guess. We have this green blur. I don't know if you can tell, but the green the greens looks like extra vibrant. And that's a good clue for Gotland.
Okay, I was very surprised that he full committed to it. Kratsooo is gonna hedge it. And it's gonna come to cost. Not much, but the issue is he doesn't have a whole lot of health to work with. So Kirania maintaining his lead and then some. Kratsooo now sat just over 500 coming into round 7.
That was a good calculation from Kratsooo to know how far he has to guess towards Gotland to survive that. Only 542 health left.
Wait, I've been right here, I think. Is this that weird location in Chile in the national park where they have yellow lines instead of white ones?
It's a couple. It's a couple, but it could be one of them.
It's right on the border. I think Kirania is right there. If that's the same place, that like the exact same location I had yesterday, then he's gonna 5k this.
Okay, I was about to double check that. Have you been there or have you seen
No,
it?
in-game.
Okay.
It was right there. I just went a bit further towards the south. Okay, that's interesting. I literally had this exact location yesterday.
Nice, nice. They both get it as well. Both watching Toby's stream, of course, and remembered it from there.
Or just play a little meta, I suppose.
And now we are in Germany, it seems like. We have some signs. Not too helpful, I think. I couldn't really put a city on that. Kratsooo gets a guess in quick. I don't know if he found something because it was on Kirania's screen the second he guessed. Both are in the central north. Kirania a bit more towards the east. But somewhat of the same region we are in Wolfsburg.
Good guess. Come through. Limited damage though as we now go into round number 9. And honestly, this is a little dangerous for Kirania. He would have wanted this over with by now because the multipliers are starting to get so high that even if Kratsooo is down by, well, over 4,000 points, he can still very easily turn this one around. I say easily, he has 2 rounds to do so.
Definitely, and we are back actually in Germany. I'm not sure for now, it's pretty hard to region guess. I was thinking of maybe the Stuttgart area, something like that. Based on our spawn, but the further we move, the less it looks like it. It's a bit more northern maybe.
Kirania trying to play it somewhat safe here. It's gonna go dead center, yes!
It's north.
Gonna be further towards the target, and it's gonna be enough. Just exactly. Kirania, one step closer to qualification. There's still a hell of a ladder to climb, but at least 1 point secured. Now he just needs to do it again.
Insane that he got the win of that, both being in the center of the country, but he was slightly closer, but it was already enough to get it through. So first win for Kirania. Now this is the game that will decide everything for Kirania, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, might not decide a whole lot. We'll leave that for Spaghette to do later. But for now, Kirania, if you win this one, you have a chance. It's not going to be easy, but there's a chance. If you don't, it's GG Kratsooo. First one to log in is going to go hard east coast, and Kirania is going to follow him.
Interesting. We have a country split up. Kratsooo is in the United States. Kirania is in Canada. It is indeed the United States. That's some good points for Kratsooo, but it is round 1.
Oh yeah.
So therefore it's only 433 damage without the multis.
Let's see. Into round 2, how excited am I going to keep things out into the woods? This is where we're going very tropical. Kirania is going to hover New Zealand. What are they seeing here that sends them there?
Indeed. I think there's a bollard right in front of us.
Well, that does help.
That does definitely help.
At all the trees.
And that's really the only clue you need because New Zealand has very unique bollards.
Yeah, definitely do. But big hit towards Kirania on that one. Kratsooo still maintaining his flawless score as we go into round 3.
We should be in
There's some
Ghana. We have the tape. That's, again, you only need one clue to get the country. And from then on, you have to think.
Yeah.
Where we are, it looks a bit more dry based on the soil, not many palm trees, which puts you more towards the north in the country, especially also with how flat it is. Because regions like Kumasi are usually more hilly, the southeast is more hilly, so therefore we should be in the northern half, I think.
We've effectively flipped the script upside down. Kirania is going to be closer on this one, but it's round 3, and this time around it's Kirania down to half health this early on. Honestly, I mean, if also with him swinging back in round 4, if we look at how the first moving game between these two went, and we just changed the names, it's completely flipped. So let's see now if Kirania can do what Kratsooo couldn't in the previous one.
In G2 is the bike driving on... Okay, it is Thailand, yeah. Wait, was it on the left or on the right?
It was
actually not sure.
On the left side.
Okay, good. Then everything is
Unless
correct.
it was driving in reverse, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Who
Could
knows?
just be going backwards really, really fast, I'm not sure.
Okay, I just saw it like for a second when it was padding and it looked like right for me, but good thing if that's settled. And yeah, actually very far inland for again how red the soil was.
Insta zoom towards the south from
right,
Kratsooo. Kirania's gonna follow him. Yet another beautiful location.
Yeah, very mountainous fall coverage is common all around in that region. I mean, it's somewhere between fall and winter.
Up by 2,000 points is Kratsooo, trying to lock this one down as fast as he can. So we now go into round number 6. Kirania currently just kind of hitching France, opting to go further east.
Yes, we have a little bit of a red tint in the road, which made him think towards Dijon, but a very, very nice guess from Kratsooo. That's a good hit.
The rare just plunk it Paris could have won you the round. It's not too often it ends up working out like that.
Yes. It could have.
Let's see, Kirania,
Is
900.
this Gen 4? Okay, I love that hover from Kirania. Because I was thinking this could be Borneo. Nowadays you get Gen 4 on Borneo as well in Malaysia. And, oh, we have the pole. Okay, well, less impressive now, but that's the Sarawak pole. That is the Sarawak pole, and they will both know it, but will they both know where we are? Sarawak is still a pretty big state.
Just jumping around quite a bit all the way up to the last moment. It is going to be Kirania closer. Multiplier stacking is going to help him out. Almost 1,000 damage done to Kratsooo, but he cannot slip up at all now. 908 health for Kirania. He has to win this no-move game if he wants to have any chance at all of qualifying to the APAC Regionals.
Correct. And Kirania was very confident there on that Sarawak guess, so Kratsooo was considering north and south. So good on Kratsooo to make that switch, reducing damage, because he will need that health, especially for a round like this. We are in Brazil, we have Portuguese on that sign. Now, that's all I can say about this location.
Yep.
Because I can see so many places. For some reason it looks dry, which makes me think maybe more northeast. And then they pan towards the other direction and it looks more tropical. So I'm not really sure.
Kratsooo is looking towards Ecuador. Or at least on our screen he is. We'll see. Kirania is hard out on the
I think
east
it
coast.
was
This
Portuguese on that side.
Yeah,
right?
I saw the A as well. I was thinking Portuguese. Kirania is in Colombia.
Yes.
Is it gonna be 3 points for him? Out on the east.
No.
It is!
That's a relief for Kirania. And he is so happy for Kratsooo to miss that language. Maybe he ignored the sign, maybe he saw something else.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah. Good thing we had that sign, because without the sign, without the Portuguese language, I was not in Brazil. So I don't blame Kratsooo for that guess at all.
What
But
a
very important
game.
one.
Kirania does the, I don't want to say impossible, because clearly this wasn't, but almost impossible. Getting 3 points against Kratsooo, which now means, look at the left, everyone. Kirania is in. But Spaghette still has 2 games to play. And I gotta repeat this. If they end on a tie, according to the tiebreakers, Spaghette will beat Kirania, because when they met each other, Spaghette beat Kirania 2-0. So right now, Kirania is in, and all he can do is sit back and pray that Malfunction 2-0 Spaghette and Captain does as well. Good thing for us is we get to see both those games. So Spaghette literally just needs to win one game, and he's in. But it's not done yet.
It is not done yet, and I don't want to be in Kirania's spot right now.
This is exciting.
Now he's up there, but 2 games, only 1 point. That is, especially for Spaghette, very
think of who's
possible.
going up against. I mean, Malfunction needs all the points she can get as well in order to try and make it into her regional in EMEA, right? So she's going to be coming in as warm as you could possibly imagine. All these next games really are going to be insanely close. It's feeling like week 21. It's feeling like final week of World League to me. It's a good time to be here.
It's definitely very different today. Very intense.
Definitely is. We'll see now. Talked about her.
Game.
Here she is, Malfunction. What can you do, my friend, in order to claim a spot for yourself in the EMEA regionals? Right now, she is sat outside by 2 points, but still has 2 games left to play. Really, really wants 3 points here against Fenip, but that's not going to be easy.
Not gonna be easy. Malfunction also winning the ladies tournament yesterday.
Yeah.
Coming out victoriously of that. So congrats again to Malfunction this time. Facing Fenip though won't make it easy at all. And I want to say their playstyle is also very similar. Both are more moving players rather than no move or NMPZ.
Definitely. Let's get it going. Fenip dressed up as we've seen him before. No hat today. Maybe he'll come back on. Should he go out and win himself some rounds here? We'll see. But at least the suit and the tie is where it usually sits.
We are Coca-Cola. Is that a place? I mean, it's saying Ver for Veracruz, probably?
Could be.
Or I might be wrong. Maybe it's not Veracruz. What does VER mean?
Doesn't matter. It was gonna be very close nonetheless. I've been watching some of Blinky's streams where him and Malfunction has been playing a lot of moving games, and whew, she is getting pretty scary in these moving games. And when you sit and practice with Blinky, you're bound to be in a pretty good spot yourself.
Yeah, definitely. We have a piranha pine here. On our right, we are passing it. Very, very common in the state of Piranha. See it also surrounding in the States, but with that 3 given, you should know the rough region in Brazil here. And I think both players picked up on that clue, but of course they still move and try to find more information than only that. So let's see if they will get to the signs that they need, or an area code, of course. Can also rule down the region. We have Santa Catarina here. Santa Catarina on the 116. So pretty much what we are scanning for now. There is the 116. Fenip is right on it. The function still scanning for it. She's in the wrong state though.
Yeah.
Getting closer. Good switch there. Reducing damage.
Great quick read by Fenip there. Of course, the state indicators in Brazil, once you know you're in that country, very convenient. You can zoom out a bit on the map, and then you get the abbreviations there to help you out as well. And even more great info to kick things off here.
Yes, indeed. I mean, are we in LA? Could see it. We have those shaped, or I mean, I don't know what this shape even is. Is it looks like a guitar pick.
Yeah.
Like a reverse guitar pick.
What is it called? Mochi? Like the Japanese very squishy cakes?
Yeah. They look like them. So we call it like that. That's our lingo.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
a
see
hazelnut
those in California. And within California, I don't really know where we are, but
wow.
Fenip knows.
Yeah, great read by Fenip.
On him.
Minimal damage, just one city over, but good play on his part anyway.
Round 4, we are in Japan. Just talked about mochis.
They were sent there right after.
We're looking at the plates, of course, to get some information of that. Didn't really see a good angle on that. Looks kind of like an island. Where do we have Kanto pose? We could be on Okinawa. Is it Shinto? Is it that
Fenip
small
is very
side?
specific
Yes.
to-
I think we are on that
Okay.
island south of... south of Tokyo. It's probably 300 kilometers south of Tokyo.
Yeah.
But it's out there.
This would be an
And
insane
we
read
have...
by him.
Yeah.
Function
Yep.
further towards the north.
Also on those islands, but I think we are even further south.
Wow.
Yeah, it is very far south. You have that Gen 2 camera quality there.
That's
and that is
game
game already.
Holy moly. Fenip taking at least 1 point off of Malfunction here. Incredible guess on this one.
Indeed, that's really a case of you have to know it or you don't. That Gen 2 camera quality with that island vibes and the infrastructural clues for the Kanto region, because that still belongs to the region of Kanto, where
Yeah.
Tokyo is within. So you have the poles that you usually see around Tokyo, you also see on that island, because it belongs to it.
And just
And
to
if you pick
fill
that
everyone in, if Malfunction goes away from this game with 0 points, like if Fenip 2 zeros, theoretically, she can still qualify in EMEA, but it is going to be very difficult.
It is indeed.
And by very difficult, I mean near impossible.
Yeah. It's gonna be very hard.
We'll see.
So let's see. We have a country split between Mexico and Argentina here. I think.
Wow,
yes.
Fenip.
That is a big blunder in round 1, but you are allowed to do that in round 1. You will not get punished.
Mental reset. Mental reset to try and reclaim that one. You can see instantly, hands to the face, he knew he was going to be off on that one. So now, look into round 2 with Malfunction with a big, big lead.
Yes, now we are in Mexico, though, I think. Looks like it to me for now. Let's see if we get more info. Yes, we have those octagonal poles, the counters, those pickup trucks, the shorter plates. Everything screams Mexico. Now, I want to say the architecture does indeed look a bit modern. We have a Monterey gas from Malfunction. I like that. I don't know on which side of the north we are, though. Neither does Fenip, because he is switching east and west. He decides to go east and even further north. And just right there on the border to the US.
Almost identical distance to the target. Still, though, Malfunction able to maintain her flawless. Not that that matters a whole lot right now. What matters to her is to win these next 2 games. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not as we go into round number 3.
And again, I've talked about the supports on the bars that are missing here. So we should be in the northeast again in Brazil. We have a guess locked in pretty quick from a function. Fenip also a bit further north. I can't really tell how far north we are here, but we are indeed in Bahia. The function is on it, and in a country like Brazil, that can be game, and it will be game.
Definitely will be.
1-1.
1-1 is the score. Malfunction able to get at least 1 point here. Would really love to get a second one as we now go into NMPC.
Indeed. Really, really hard to make a prediction here. I know Fenip really doesn't like NMPC at all.
A tough flawless as well. Considering how well Fenip played in the moving game, I would not have thought that Malfunction was going to be able to just instantly turn it around coming into the next one. But great performance by her. And now, NMPC it is. And zip the eyes.
Starting off in Malaysia, they are zooming in with their heads to read what's on the mile marker, because usually it's giving the road number. Or letter. Sometimes they are letters in Malaysia. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all we have here. It's kind of hilly. You get in a lot of the parts on mainland and Borneo. Doesn't really help, doesn't rule out anything, as we just saw them both guessing south and it was north. Yeah, really hard to make that out on a location like that. As we go on to another Iceland location, we have those yellow bollards, very recognizable. very, very flat with a red soil. Makes me think maybe east of Reykjavik. In that area. I really like where Fenip is looking right now. Because it's so flat and we don't see mountains. Plus we have that darker tin soil. All of that is very common in that region around Reykjavik.
I love it that you're saying right east. Now. Malfunction looks north. Fenip looks south. We're all over. In terms of what's available here, where will it be? It's going to be hard towards the southeast. Okay.
Yeah, very far, actually.
Hard southeast, but difficult guessing that one. There wasn't all that much to work with. As the scores now practically tied, coming in to round number 3.
Indeed. We are in South Africa. We have the yellow outlines. And I do like Malfunction's guess. I thought we are maybe a bit more inland. However, I mean, we have a mountain range. That could work for where she guessed.
Definitely could. Great guess by Fenip, though.
Fenip got almost the right ridge there. Yes. Lined it up perfectly.
You can see him bobbing his head, feeling very good about his playing so far, and understandably so. He's putting up a good fight here. We'll see if he can get even more with this one.
Well, we are in India. It looks very dry to me. By default, you maybe go Rajasthan on this. But I could see more than that. I could see other dry places.
Malfunction sends it dead center. We'll see if Fenip opts to follow or not. He's going to go somewhat central as well, swinging a bit towards the west, but it's going to be even further out there. Fenip surprised on this one that it didn't get a good read on it.
No, very hard on a location like that, especially in an NPC. You only had that field in the distance to really make guess based on, because besides that we were surrounded by the building. As we move on to this round, we are in, looks like Indonesia. We have a lot of tiled roofs, which puts you on Java. Usually.
The laughs comes through from Malfunction. Responded to by Fenip, as they were both usually right on that one. This time around, though, not quite the case.
Nope. That was an opportunity for either one to call it game, but hard to commit.
Oh, wow. Predictions really liking Malfunction in this one. We'll see if she's going to be right or not.
Yep, this time Fenip also picks up on the Argentina vibes. That's good. Very hard to region guess this one again. I don't think we are far west, so I like the eastern guess. But as in where in the east? It could be further north, it could be further south. But yeah, they play it safe with
great guesses on both of them. It's gonna, I mean, pretty much tie things up here. Not completely, but almost, as we head into round number 7. Again, Malfunction really wanting an extra point here to try and see if she can make it through to the UMEA Majors. So far, nothing's guaranteed.
No. And this looks a lot like the Minas Hills. We have a Minas guess from Malfunction. Minas Gerais has those. Again, I don't know how to describe them, but those mountains are like very round shapes. Like, they aren't spiky. They go in like very big rounded shapes like that. And we are indeed in Minas. A bit further south.
It's becoming Fenip's thing to take his hands up to his face in every single guess, no matter the distance. Here he was again, big swing onto Malfunction, as he now sets himself up ahead coming into round 8.
Indeed. What do we have here? First thought it was maybe Rio. I was in Asia first, I'm not actually sure.
Nothing to read on the pole in the distance?
Did a quick lean into my monitor. I can't really make out the pole, no. It is weird.
Well, if it's difficult for you, it's going to be difficult for them as well. And with 4.5 times multipliers, Gelotris, this could easily be game, especially if one commits to the Philippines and one goes Mexico.
I don't think this is ever Philippines.
Now she's looking. Okay. Ecuador. What are we committing to here, Malfunction? This 1 point available in an NPC could be the difference maker, and whether or not you qualify. Fenip commits. At least looks like it. He's gonna stay in Mexico. Malfunction is still in Philippines. And it's gonna be Mexico.
And that is game Fenip. Locks
Fenip
it in.
wins it.
Wins the game.
20,000 damage done. Instantly runs off camera. Not sure why, but that's what he hopes to do.
Running somewhere.
So only 1 point for Malfunction. This is going to be tough. She knows it. It's going to be a hard one. You effectively need to 2-0 your next matchup. And that ain't going to be easy at all.
Nope, not at all. I mean, it was a good match. We went all the way to an NPC. I mean, Fenip didn't make it easy at all for Malfunction, so we can't really blame her. She played very well. But on a location like that, that was very hard. I was also not sure at all. I was in Asia. I was a bit in the Americas as well. We couldn't really make out the polls, but it seems like they also couldn't make it out. It was a pure vibe thing. And yeah, Fenip picked that one out correctly.
Definitely. We can see here the leaderboard as things have gone on. Captain able to 2-0 Lero. Eamonn able to... No, sorry. Taken down 2-0 by Yannick. Great turnaround by him. As the next match we'll be seeing is Malfunction versus Spaghette. And this game is gonna be insane because both Malfunction and Spaghette are fighting for their spots. So far, technically, they're both out. Look at this. Spaghette in APAC is sat in 49. He just needs 1 point in his next 2 games to surpass Kirania. Malfunction, well, she's out by 1 point as well and needs all the points she can get here to try and catch up to Trishta and Mada effectively.
Match is gonna be insane.
Wow.
It means a lot for both players. They're both on the edge to make it through to the majors.
What set of games we have coming up. Of course, all these players, it doesn't just end at the regional majors. They are all fighting for spots for the World Championship, which is going to be in the last weekend of August in Copenhagen. You can get your tickets now if you go over to GeoGuessr.com. Also, if you want to add to the prize pool for the World Championship, you can subscribe here on Twitch. And not only does all those money go straight to the prize pool, you also enter the raffle for a goodie bag from GeoGuessr. It's the last weekend, I guess, for the goodie bags to be shipped out. So if you want to have a chance of winning one, it has to come through right now, here today, as the World League is going on. So make sure to subscribe here on Twitch, and you can get yourself a maybe a hat like mine, maybe a shirt like mine, maybe a hat like this one. There's a lot of good stuff in those goodie bags. And subscribe here on Twitch if you want to have a chance of winning one. And also, of course, if you're planning on coming to the World Championship up there, you can get a 15% discount if you're... There you go. Good job. So we got there in the end. You can get yourself a 15% off if you want to stay at the Quality and View Hotel in Malmö. If you want to visit Sweden as well on your trip here to Copenhagen, then by all means, hop on over there and get yourself a room. But for now, we're going to go to a short break. We need it. Get some water, guys. Get some snacks. Get ready, because this next match between Malfunction and Spaghette could decide 2 players' qualification for their respective regionals.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea. GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup, Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings, world-class dining,
We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you got yourselves something to drink, something to eat, because we are in for an amazing one. Preferably some popcorn. Maybe that's what you need for the excitement that we're about to witness here in the next upcoming game. I'm Toby. I'm joined by GeoGuessr, and GeoGuessr, talk to me a bit about this match we're about to witness.
Yeah, we have been talking about this match. There's a lot on the line. We are pretty much on the edge of getting through to qualify for the majors here. On one side we have Malfunction, who really needed a win on the last game, but she's still going strong, hopefully, against Spaghette. Whereas Spaghette also is technically, you know, he is not qualified yet, but he still has games to play. 2 of them, one of them is right now.
Exactly. It's gonna be Spaghette versus Malfunction, and it couldn't be any more exciting. Both of them trying to claw their way back into their regional majors. And yeah, I don't think we need any more underlining of the intensity of what we're about to witness. I guess for the sake of viewer entertainment, we were talking a bit about it in the break here, you and I, GeoGuessr. The best thing would be that Malfunction 2-0s Spaghette, and now all the Spaghette fans are like, no, why would you say that? And I'm like, guys, chill. Spaghette has one more game. All he needs, I say all, because that's not an easy task. He just needs to win one game. He needs to take one game mode home in one of his next 2 games, and he's in. Malfunction, though, effectively has to 2-0 here.
Yep, she really has to.
So, let's see. Let's see what's gonna happen as these 2 take on one another.
Oh man. Yeah, I really don't know what to expect here as well. It's a very hard prediction. They are both equally strong, Malfunction and Spaghette. So really no favorite here, I would say. Therefore, that makes it even more exciting than it already is.
Definitely does. First round takes us to Germany. Malfunction, quick on the guess here.
We are in the northeast. We have an OW ending on that one town. You should only see that in the east, northeast in Germany. I also have the provincial number roads to work with. They both got there in the end, both on the right road. To start off this moving duel.
Pretty decent start. Just 4 points of damage thrown across the board there as we get ourselves into round number 2, a round which doesn't look to be as easy to maybe pinpoint.
Not really. I mean, we are on a big divided road. Doesn't mean much though. We are in Mexico. Looks very northern. Rancho Mirador. I don't know what Malfunction used on this side, but she looked at it and insta-blocked it all the way up there. Spaghette is also in Baja, but in the southern part of it.
Yeah, a bit of distance
moving
in
a
between their
bit more
guesses
towards
here.
the north, considering it was there on the map. That's really good points for Malfunction here on round 2 already.
Incredible. Guess to kick things off. Almost half health taken away from Spaghette. I feel like that's been the storyline for a lot of our matchups today. That one person just gets thrown drastically behind right from the get-go. This time around, it's going to be Spaghette. Insta sending it downtown Bangkok. We'll see if Malfunction's going to up to follow. She will. And they're both going to be right next to the target.
Yeah, he had a area code very early, but also, of course, with how urban and populated it looked. Bangkok does make a lot of sense. They just skip this round pretty much, going over to round 4. As we go to a more relevant round, we are in the United States without much information. This could be a lot of places. Oh, we have a lot of cornfields here. We could be somewhere in the plains. Let's see something like Indiana, Iowa, Ohio. Could also see this being east, though.
1-800. Doesn't seem like that's something Malfunction
More?
wants to use. Maybe Spaghette looks up, gets
could
some
actually-
info, still moves on.
This could be
631.
East Coast. 631.
Of course, it could be a company that has its seat somewhere else, so it could be misleading. We'll see. Malfunction in the state of New York. Spaghette still jumping around quite a bit. Is now down on the southern side of Illinois. And it's got to be all the way
East
out.
Coast. Yeah, wow. Not the easiest
Another big
one,
hit.
but close from Malfunction in New York, and that's already enough to close out the game already.
Yep, 4 rounds in. Malfunction up 1-0. Again, really wants to make a swift end of this. And for Spaghette, he would love to be able to go into his next game with no worries in his life. All he needs is to win a single game. Let it be no move here, potentially an NPC. All he needs is one game, and he's through. Quick plunk into Thailand. Spaghette a bit further towards the east here. It's going to follow. Only 100 kilometers separating them around 1. Shouldn't amount to too much damage. 354 at that.
Yep, not much happening. Kind of similar guesses. Let's go over to another US round. It seems like it looks very cold and wintry, but at the same time we have palm trees.
That's the US.
Yeah,
They can do everything
that
at the
should
same
be
time.
the US.
You get snow and palm trees in the same frame. That's not not something you see too often.
Kind of true, but still, we have a Utah and Arizona split up technically right next to each other, those states, but the distance is still a lot, and now even more. That will once again be a lot of damage dealt in the US from Malfunction to Spaghette.
Definitely. 2 rounds in, half health left remaining for Spaghette. Malfunction needs to bring this one home. But Spaghette ain't out of it yet.
Yes, she's getting closer to that 2-0 victory, but nothing has been decided yet. Not at all.
This is a weird one.
This is weird. We have a low cam though. What is the copyright?
Yeah, copyright
still don't know.
available.
I mean, it should be just not in Japan, I think.
Well, if Spaghette can get that one locked in, that'd be great. Home country guess. Oh, Malfunction is in Switzerland.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Chat, what are you thinking? Where are we at here?
Oh.
The European is in Europe. The Japanese is in Japan. What are we aiming for here? Doesn't seem like either of them is even considering, or at least hovering, towards the other continent. 2, 1. It's gonna be locked in. This could be game. And it will be Japan!
It is.
And it's gonna be enough!
Turn the game around.
And that should confirm that Spaghette will be through over Kirania. With the 1 point there, that should be him winning the tiebreaker.
That was a very, very important game
You
to
see
win
the
for
sigh of his
Spaghette
face
there.
as well. His reaction.
Wow.
It's time for an NPC. There's still much needed points on the side of Malfunction here.
Yeah, definitely. She's still in the race. Really, really needs to lock in here, though. Really needs those wins from now on. We start off with the Philippines, yes. I mean, can't blame them.
Frustrations on the face of Malfunction. Understandably so. Going Switzerland in Japan. A tough loss for her, of course, but pressure is truly building on her shoulders right now. She needs points off of this. Would have preferred to get the 3 total. Let's see if she can get something going here in an NPC. It's in round 2. She's sending it central Italy. With Spaghette further towards the north.
Yep, I could see both. We have a big mountain range towards the east, which would be weird, yeah. It can happen up there in the north, but usually you have them more towards the north rather than to the east. But in some pocket valleys it can happen, so I don't blame Spaghette at all. So we go over to the next round. Wish I could get a better look on the pole, that would help. We have concrete slabbed roads, which is
Spaghette is standing up now to get closer to his screen. My man, you need to get the monitor closer to the edge of the table.
How far his monitor is away from him?
He's gonna sit on the table in a second.
But he is locked in.
He is
Giving
fully
it
locked
the
in.
IRL zoom. He's probably trying to figure out what that pole is, just as I'm leaning in towards it. Not as much as he does. It's not a lot on the line for me, so I can be wrong.
That is true. It almost looks like your neighbor is coming in to borrow some salt, you know, just staring through the fisheye in your door, like, hello there! Spaghette, full focused. Working on both balance and focus here, but one is in Mexico, one is in Thailand. This could very well be game. And it's going to be all the way out in the Philippines. Spaghette, big miss on that one, but with Malfunction not being close, surprisingly enough, that's only going to be 800 damage.
Could have been game if she picked up on the Philippines vibes for sure, but her being in Thailand leaves Spaghette at half HP. Still a good lead for Malfunction as we move over to this round. Which I do agree kind of looks like Albania. I don't know if it's Monte or Albania. Looked more like Albania to me.
And we'll be up there.
It is Monte. Yeah.
From being continents and half planets off, we're now within 20-some kilometers. This is more what we're used to seeing. This round, a little more straightforward. As we go into the next one. 1-1 is the score. 5 rounds in. What do we have to work with here, Gelotris?
Yeah, I mean, definitely helping here is the driving side of that bike. Looks like it's driving on the right, so we should be in Cambo. Over Thailand. By the looks. Again, we have this flatness with very red soil. Actually, is it a mountain to the west?
Looks like it.
On the left side. Okay, then we should be in the north or the south.
Or big,
far west.
surprisingly dark cloud.
Cambo. Yeah, that's the areas where you get those mountain ridges. It's like either far west, north, or south. It's like really 3 extremes in the country where you sometimes really have to commit.
She's scanning the border lines here. Is there anything on screen that indicates like a Thai border nearby?
Well,
or is it just vibes?
Along the border you have a ridge going in the north-south direction, which it looks like it being the case here.
I feel like it's very rare that a Cambodia round goes all the way down to 0, but we know the importance of this round. This Malfunction Able to do more damage, sending Spaghette down to just over 1,000. Has only been hit once for 55 damage in this game, coming into round 6.
Indeed, and what do we have here? Looks like Chile. We are in the Atacama Desert. Where in it? I don't know. It is a big desert. It has a lot of similar looking places all along it. Fairly long stretch.
Big luck from Malfunction. Let's see if Spaghette ups go further north or not. He's hovering further towards the east, but never commits to going there. Would have wanted to go further north. This could potentially be enough to get her the game. It will be!
Very important.
So 2 points in for Malfunction, but one. I needed one for Spaghette as well. 1 game later, and we have massive upsets on the leaderboard. This really is final day vibes, Gelotus. It really is.
Is that the best outcome here? 2-1 content-wise?
No, I mean, I guess content-wise, Malfunction got the 2-0, and then Spaghette gets his 1 round in the next one.
Yeah.
Because while Malfunction now can qualify, it's not looking good. It really is not looking good. Look at this. She's in. She is in right now. But it's tricky. And look at that. Spaghette, Kirania. Spaghette winning on the tiebreaker. 21 weeks of GeoGuessr.
Yeah, for
and
those who
APAC
wonder.
ends in a tie.
Yeah, for those who wonder, Spaghette and Kirania played against each other in week 4. And
It's
on
so
that
long ago.
matchup, it was Spaghette who took the game against Kirania. And that's a tiebreaker here to bring Spaghette over Kirania.
Week 4, that's almost a half year ago.
Yep.
And it's that match. It's that one match that ends up impacting the outcome. That is insane. Absolutely insane. Malfunction now, technically in, but for how long? That's going to be up to Trishta, Pan, and V89 to decide, because they're both gunning for those last spots. And Trishta still has games to play, so does V89. It's tricky. It's tricky, Gelotris.
It's very hard. It's very hard. I mean, never say never. Anything happen. Especially in... We've seen it in GeoGuessr. You have a lot of upsets from left and right. And if you get them back to back to back to back, Malfunction can still make it.
Definitely, but now it's her chance to lean back, watch the other players play, and just pray that somehow they get completely and utterly wrecked, because that needs to be the case in order for her to still have a chance of making it through. But now we go over to chat favorite Lenley taking on Amarrain. Lenley, of course, already safely sat inside the MEA majors, but still, you want more points, because the majors ain't enough, my friends. You still need to secure your top 12 spot for a world championship spot. So get as many points as you possibly can to try and secure a world championship spot, even maybe before the regionals come through.
Right, indeed. Yeah, we have, as you already said, the fan favorite. They have been screaming, they have been yelling, they want this game. Here you have it, Lenley against Amarrain. We have the stats on the board. Right now, Lenley is definitely favored based on that. So what are the channel point predictions? We have them going, we have 440k on Lenley and 64k on Amarrain.
That's a
lot of points to gain, a lot of points to lose.
Amount. Well,
and we jump into the game right here in Australia. Round 1. Moving around, seems like they both decided to move towards the north on this round. Northeast. I'm not sure if it's New South Wales or Western Australia. Looks more like Western Australia to me for now. With the red car, the red soil. But there are some parts in New South Wales that can look like this.
Good info. The 120.
Yep. Brookton and York.
Ooh. 5k lineup potentially for Lenley here. Amarrain has not found this info. Still going to be out in the west though, but way further south.
Yeah, even though they both went to the same direction, seems like Lenley reached it quicker. Amarrain did a lot of breaks in between, and that did cost him a lot of points.
Definitely.
Right here.
1,000-point hit, almost, to start things off. A good beginning for Lenley. Again, even if he's already in the regional majors, you can go, oh, but then what does this match matter? Keep in mind, the world or the global leaderboard still is what's going to determine whether or not you make it through to the World Championship. It's just if you qualify through to the regionals, you have a chance of getting a lot more points there. But it's only the top few players that get any extra points in the regionals, meaning you still want as many points as you possibly can here in your final matches.
Yep, there's no time to lean back, never.
Nope.
Every game is important, every game matters. We are in Russia here, big country, but they both picked up on the right region there. Towards the southwest. And we go over to round 3 already.
Let's see. Into the urban area we go. As
Yeah, looks like
take the same route out. Makes good sense because the other one was dead end.
Speaking of checking it out, I think it is
Ahaha.
Czechia. I would say we have an EU domain. Hate to see that. Hate to see that, but here we have it. We have Holice, 9 kilometers. We have a road number 305. Lenley got a very, very good sign here that will help him, but Amarrain also gets to 1, also with the same information. 2 different signs with the same information though. We have the road number 305 on both of them. So from then on you scan for the 305 and then look for these towns that are given on it. But seems like Lenley is in the town already. Yes.
He might just be. I think he is indeed. He is. There is the 5K. The sign to show as well. A little love for the Jatters as he nets himself the first one of the broadcast. We've had some insane guesses today, but no one's been that on point.
Nope, no one gave us the animation yet. Lenley to be the first one to 5K today. And now we are in Canada. We have the maximum. You've mentioned it earlier. We have the insulators towards the road. Do you know what that means?
Ooh, that means we I know it means that you can determine it based on the insulators on the top of it. Is it east?
Yeah, I mean, towards the road is Quebec most of the time, and Nova Scotia.
I call that east.
That's east. I mean, it is both east.
That's what Amarrain is going to say as well.
The most, but with the short bar, it should be Nova Scotia because that doesn't really happen in Quebec.
Let's
the
see.
short support bar on the pole top. So pole knowledge is very important in Canada. It contains a lot of information.
Definitely does.
As we just saw, just based on one pole, we could already tell that we are in Nova Scotia.
Convenient info to have available. Even more convenient if you can actually read it. As we make a to Africa.
Indeed,
More
we are.
specifically, chat, you should know this, into Follow-Car Africa.
Yep, we see it right there. It is Nigeria.
Oh, you're just giving the answer to chat. Geologists, come on, man.
I mean, they know it. They know it.
You'd have to imagine.
Sure.
You would have to imagine. If not, well, then here you go. Now you know, Lenley able to maintain his flawless through this round. 21 damage total to Amarrain, not a whole lot. But now, coming into round number 6.
Indeed, looks like Bulgaria to me. Chunky concrete poles with the hooks. Very, very common. Summer coverage, very, very common. Winter coverage in Gen 3, very, very common. We have all 3 clues given already. We have the city name as well. Right there on Lenley's screen. It was for a second, I couldn't really read it. He picked it up though. Remembers it now. Trying to get better information than that though. And yeah, more information, but
Let's It's tiny town info.
Not really
not a
something
whole
you
lot
can
to go
work with, but this looks way better now. We have Varna just 3 kilometers, so we are very close to Varna. That's a very, very good sign for Amarrain.
Yeah.
He does lock it in. I must say, he took some good time. I would have insta-locked it right away as soon as I see Varna 3 kilometers. But Lenley is in the middle of the country, which is pretty far away, and with how close Amarrain is to the actual location, that will be a lot of points and will turn the lead around.
Definitely. Setting things up pretty much tied with Amarrain, bit of a buffer. As we go into round number 7, this could go all the way to round 10, and if that's going to be the case, this 2,000 point hit onto Lenley, it's going to be very comfortable for Amarrain.
Indeed, and it looks like we are in Spain here. Do we have some information on this town? Saying La Serena. Don't know about the La Serena in Spain. That could be the town, potentially. As we see them still moving around, or Lenley in this case. Amarrain did lock it in. I think he's somewhere in Extremadura, southern Extremadura. Those fields look like Central South. I really like Lenley's guess as a region guess.
Well, Amarrain's a bit further towards the west.
More
It's going to be
towards the
somewhat
west,
in
and
between there.
yeah, it is in between.
Somewhat in between. Amarrain has been really, really good at kind of deciphering info. There's been a lot available, but he's been able to find some of the pretty clutch info early on in some of these last couple of rounds. We'll see if that's going to continue now as we get into round number 8. Amarrain still with the lead, now up to 1100 health.
Indeed, and love to see that we are in Turkey. I think that mountain looks like the Kozan mountain, doesn't it?
Obviously.
Agree.
Yeah, obviously.
That second
I was a little
mountain
hesitant
is
for a while, but then I looked an extra
recognizable.
time, and I was like, yeah, it's true.
It is in Central South. Looks like that mountain. It's like one single standing mountain out of nowhere in the middle of the city. Can't really make it out what is written on that sign where Amarrain was looking at. Actually, we have a lot of these greenhouses.
Yeah.
Which would be very odd for that region.
Lenley scanning the
So,
southern
yeah.
coast.
Mm-hmm.
Amarrain's further up towards the north,
Looks
up
better
towards
to
Izmir.
me, yeah. I like that. But
Ooh,
yeah.
and it's going to be all the way southeast of
Further east.
Bologna.
Yep. I mean,
All Danish
especially
tourists
along
rejoice.
here, I do respect Lenley's guess. Everything that fit for where he guessed. The greenhouses, the water tanks, the architecture, everything that fit. But especially along the south coast, it is pretty hard to make a region guess.
Definitely. Another round with a lot of info available early on. Lenley jumps 2 steps forward and instantly has a good sign. And this is where intersections become brutal in moving games because Amarrain went the other direction and he does not have that info available. It's right around the corner, but he simply doesn't have it. And he's going to be the first one to log in regardless.
Confused. He doesn't like it.
Yeah,
He
I
guessed
think
and he
now
doesn't
he's
like it
starting to go,
afterwards.
wait a minute.
Did he maybe try to fast move and guess?
Oh, he had his
accidentally?
marker down. He's laughing too.
Yes.
Oh no. You know
Maybe.
what? For someone who wasn't sure and made a mistake, only taking 160 damage in round 9, I
That
think
is not
that's
too
pretty
punishing.
good.
That is not
You're-
too punishing. That is
Yeah,
fine.
you're very satisfied with that. Lenley almost lining up the 5k there as well. Great guessing on his part. As we now go into round 10, Amarrain needs to end this round ahead of Lenley if he wants to take home this moving game. Round 10 is the final round of this game. So let's see, Amarrain, can you do this?
So yeah, what are they gonna do now? We are in Sweden with those short dashes. Probably looking, okay, we have some town information. Don't know these places though. I don't know if Lenley knows any of them. They don't ring
don't
about
either.
to me. What
that
you
that's
can do as
saying
well in
anything.
Sweden is looking for bus stops. There are a lot of
North Shore means
regional-
Northern Lake, but that's a bait because there's a trillion lakes and they're not
Yep.
necessarily in the north. So
At least. At least a trillion. There are a lot of regional bus stops. Maybe they've learned them. Could maybe look for one here. And
be
besides
oh, he
that,
found
I don't
North
know
Shore.
if there's any
He
information.
actually found the city.
Oh, wow. Actually scanned and found it.
So 19
If it's the
kilometers
right
off at
one.
most. Wait, Amarrain is confused. There's more North Shores, but he's
Yep.
gonna take it anyway. What?
That's what I mean. That's a sweet moment where you have the same town name in every single county. Yeah.
That was a perfect jump in what do you call it? Jump in reaction. First it goes, yeah, I got it. Then he goes, wait, I'm off. Then he goes, oh, wait, I won anyway. Great. Thank you so much. Lenley, gonna be off by a bit in that one. But apparently there are multiple northern lakes in Sweden. Who would have thought?
Probably. Sometimes it does happen like that.
Let's see now. Into no move we go. What do we have available here? Sign in the distance, too small to read. But this one, yellow one at that, potentially useful.
Yeah, we have a quick New Mexico scent. It was actually Utah though. Amarrain picking that up. Not the best region guess, fairly east, but it is max west, or southwest even, which doesn't allow him to deal too much damage, but still a good start. And now, what do we have here?
Swedish bank, it looks like.
Swedish bank.
I didn't see what
Very
the second
urban
word was in it, but it
wintery.
definitely said Svenska, so that is a pretty good indication of the country you're in.
Not the best shout from me, but I could see this being very far south, but I could also see this being very far north.
Wow, clutch! Clutch color casting brought
Let's
to you
hope
live
it's not
by
in the middle.
Gelotris.
Let's hope
Guys,
it's not
it
in
could
the
be
middle.
south, it could be north, just a heads up. It's, what about central? What about in the middle?
Central.
What do you,
I
okay,
don't
you can
it.
see that as well.
Let's hope
Great.
it's not. Let's hope it's not.
What amazing in-depth analysis.
Brick architecture looks very southern to me. But at the same time, those birch tree rows, I could even see something like Umea, like all the way up north.
Well, Umeo is on point.
Yep.
Unfortunately, both Lenley and Amarrain didn't want to go that far towards the north, understandably so. And therefore, no big points are garnered off this round. But still, Amarrain able to maintain his flawless 2 rounds in, as we now hit round number 3.
Indeed, we are in Brazil. We have some pole markings.
Chat, should we have an Indeed tracker on Gelotris?
Indeed, we should.
I'm just messing with you. Sorry, continue.
Okay. I actually don't know where we are. Those poles. I just said Jeeper poles? I don't think so. Look like it though. Goodbye, I guess, from Lenley. I don't know. Oh, it was Mada now, and Amarrain is right on it.
Incredible guessing.
How did he
coming
pull
through.
that off?
I'm not sure. Once again, Amarrain on point, and even Lenley is confused. Like, bro, what did you see that I didn't? Because we were both locked in the same position, but Amarrain was vibing the hell out of that guess. Got incredibly close with it, and now Lenley only in a sliver of health. Let's see if Amarrain can bring it home. It would be insane, considering where he is on the leaderboard and whatnot, for Amarrain to be able to 2-0 Lenley.
Yeah. It's kind of the hot location, the Brazil one. I mean, the vegetation looked a lot like the north. I don't know if Lenley, maybe Lenley surely has more knowledge than me in Brazil. Maybe he saw some region-specific pole or something like that, but the vegetation definitely looked northern.
You saw
So maybe
Lenley's
that
reaction
tricked
there as
him.
well to Amarrain guessing, going, oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. He's on there. Lenley frustrated about the loss in this one. It's gonna be enough.
Yeah.
And just like that, Amarrain happy with his performance. Able to get himself a 2-0 win over Lenley. A rare
insane.
0-2 on this side of
insane.
Lenley. But for Amarrain as well, I mean, we had him in for an interview 2 weeks ago, talked to him about the importance of representing Thailand. And even if the overall World League has not gone to his liking, I think he can be very, very satisfied with being able to get a win like that. But let's instantly now jump over to the next game as Stfan is taking on Mada. And just to quickly fill you guys in, Mada needs points. He wants as many of them as possible because he's currently set at 61. And if he can get himself just, I mean, the 3 points here, he's going to be very, very solidly locked in. But that also means that we're taking away one more spot to fight for. This is Mada's last matchup, and he's playing against Stfan.
Exactly, and what do we have? I didn't even really have time to soak in all information here.
Well, Stfan is up 1-0 so far. We're in round 2.
I don't know what the car situation here is. The landscape, with the landscape, I do agree with Stefan's guess, but yes.
Big guess. 1,000 kilometers or 900 make it in between him. That's going to send Mada down to half. Mada does not want to go out here with 0 points. If he ends his race on 61, he could still make it in. But all of a sudden, he's relying on other people to play poorly, similarly to how Malfunction is currently set.
Exactly, and now we are in Germany once again. Looks like we have a German ballot. I wish I could see more houses to make a better region guess, because that's what I usually need in Germany.
You have a roof
Besides
of a
that,
farm.
we have some, farms don't really help. Okay, it was indeed south with those rolling hills, but you get more over there rather than in the north, but I can't blame Mada. You can
Another
still have
decent
it
chunk,
also
though,
up there.
of his health bar being bit off here. Now sat at just over 1,800 health. It's getting scary. But we know if there's a guy that can make a comeback happen, that would be him. Estonia is the immediate hunch for Mada. What are you thinking here?
Yes, I do agree with that. We have this very sandy soil, and again this green blur. I talked about it earlier on the Gotland round. You also have that a lot in Estonia, if you trust it. I mean, based on the looks, I also agree. Putting the camera meta to the side, I could see it.
Jumps south by 2 countries into Lithuania.
I don't blame
Mada
him.
sits up on the border.
Yep, I could see
Now moving further
really
south
anything
as well.
on the Baltics I could see here.
Well, what Mada wants to see is him being closer to the target. Let's see if that's going to be the case or not. It is not going to be the case at all. 100 kilometers out. It's only going to make this race harder. Half his remaining health gone. Now sat at just over 900. Again, Mada needs points to secure his EMEA qualification. He's been on a really good uprise in the last couple of weeks, but now he needs to log in and bring this one home.
Exactly, and this is a round where I immediately look down and line it up to find the right alignment. We are on the coast of northern Chile here, and this is really a matter of scanning along the road that goes along the coast and try to find the right lineup. Maybe see this land sticking out, maybe find that.
Is there enough bay that you can see, though, to make that happen here? I mean, you have the fog as well. Do we have land on the far right side?
You also have like somewhat of a small city
that-
down there. If you combine everything, if you combine the land sticking out on both sides, the road alignment and the town to the south, it is very findable.
I thought for a second this was a lake because it looked like there was mountains on the right side as well.
Oh,
That might just be a dark cloud.
it is a cloud for sure.
Yep, I was
Surely.
confused for a second. Go, wait a minute. But it does seem to be Coastland and Stfan. Mada out with no points in this matchup. That is insanely important for some of the teams on the hunt. But for all the Mada fans out there, this is dangerous. Now, he has gone from effectively putting his qualification in his own hands to giving it straight over to his opponents. As soon as the leaderboard updates, we need to look on it, because right now, Trishta, Pan, and V89 are out, but they're also the only ones with games left to play. While we were covering this, Stfan and Mada 2-0. Zigzag got bested by Debre 2-1. And you know what? I had an interview with Zigzag last week, and he said he was going to 2-1 Debre. That didn't end up happening. But nonetheless, let's get a look at that regional leaderboard, because that's getting insane. Mada is in. Malfunction is in. But they're both done playing. Trishta, Pan, V89 now know what's at stake. They need to beat 60 and they need to beat 61 in order to make it happen, Gelotris. Trishta has one game left to do it. So does Pan. Pan has to 2-0 to surpass Malfunction. Trishta just needs to win in order to get in the mix as well. This is going to be so close.
Yeah, especially V89 still has 3 games left. Gotta keep that in mind.
He has 4
3
games.
Oh, and today, yeah. He has 1 today and 3
He
tomorrow.
has 4 games left
4
to play.
games left to play, so don't only look at the current
Yeah, but
standings.
he's very much in the
We
race.
have to consider that he's very
because
much in the
Mada
race.
didn't get any points. I mean, you can see now, had he gotten just 1 point here, that would have set him guaranteed above Pan. So that would have made it much easier. But because he didn't, all of a sudden now, all the 3 players in the hunt could technically surpass him. We're going to have to look at a lot of previous matchups here. I knew we were going to look at the Spaghette Kirania matchup and how they've played in the past, but there's a lot of tie situations that could be very important. So if you guys out there in the chat, go back and look at who beat who in their respective matchups over the course of the entire World League. It's impossible to predict right now as it stands.
Nope.
Now, if you want to go to the EMEA Major, even though we don't know who's going to be there with you yet, up towards the top of your screen, you can use the code GeoGuessr in order to get 20% off your ticket. Whether you're just there for one day or if you're there to watch the whole thing, you can get yourself a 20% discount. Remember, it's not just GeoGuessr. There's a lot of the games taking place at Glitched. So if you want to go up there and watch some great games from Jönköping, make sure to get your tickets. But for now, we're going to go to a break, and we're going to try and crunch the numbers, and when we come back, Spaghette and Captain gets to play against one another right after this.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We are about to... I was going to say figure out who's going to qualify. That's not necessarily true because we have way more games to be played later tonight. I'm Toby, joined by Gelotris, and you are watching the final week of the GeoGuessr World League. And Gelotris, we knew it was going to be close. But we are now in a case, at least in EMEA, because APAC has been wrapped up in terms of qualification. Americas has been wrapped up. But in EMEA... 5 players are fighting for 11th and 12th spot. And I say fighting. Mada and Malfunction have already been subbed out. They're sat on the bench waiting, hoping that Trishta, Pan, and V89 don't overtake them.
Indeed. And would you look at that? These are the current standings. Don't take it as it is, because there will be changes for sure.
Oh yeah.
I can guarantee you that much. That is about to happen, but for now it is Captain versus Spaghette. Spaghette had a very, very important game early in the slot where he did need to secure a win, otherwise he would have needed to do that in this game. So less pressure on him, but as we already said, they still play for points here.
Yes.
So therefore it is still going to be a good match.
Definitely. You can see here on the global leaderboard that, of course, by the end of the regionals, top 12 make it through to the World Championship finals. And, well, that's not going to be an easy task. So even for Captain, who's already set up towards the top, he's not guaranteed anything yet in terms of global championship or world championship qualification. EMEA regionals is locked in for him. But the World Championship still needs to be fought for. So an important match for both these two players to get as many points as possible.
Correct. And we start off in Turkey. Love to see that.
5K, I'm ready. All you.
How about you do it this time, Toby?
No, I haven't done learnable meta Turkey yet, so not yet.
I actually...
I'll do it next week. Oh, wait.
I did contribute to that, so you can trust everything that's given on that. So yeah, let's see. What do we have actually? I didn't really see any region-specific clues yet. It's saying Silivri, which is a coastal city in European Turkey. It's on the south coast in European Turkey. It is very big actually. It is already on the map. You see it on Captain's screen. You also see it on Spaghette's screen. Even from this zoom level, you see it. Yeah, seems like it doesn't ring a bell.
Let's see. There we go. It is all the way over there.
The realization.
Yeah.
Of, oh, it's actually huge.
People go, wait, oh, right, there's a European part as well. Oh. It's not like just...
Didn't really look like it, to be fair. It didn't
true.
really strike it as it's on that location.
That is true. Into round 2 we go. Despite it being in Turkey exclusive, a lot of damage did come through here in round number 1. So we now see ourselves zooming down the street. They both have the same info available. They've gone down the same path here.
I don't know if that's really helpful what we had on that poster. So therefore they are moving even further. We have Kabupat and Passer. Oh, where was that? Passer. I forgot.
Captain
I learned the
South Kalimantan, so you'd have to imagine that he knows something that we might not.
Yes, I think it is on Kali Passer. I don't exactly know where it was. Somewhere on the east.
In and around the area just north of the regional border. And both in the same city. Spaghette trying to line up a 5K here, I think, and he might just be successful at that. Indeed, he will not be.
Almost.
Oh, I thought he had it. But no, the numbers would bait us for 9.99.
They don't really bless us with the 5Ks today. It's always the 4999s. They do it on purpose, let's be real. As we move over to the next round, we are in Kenya, driving left. Single yellow, actually also very common in Kenya. We have the pickup truck, not the snorkel one. Oh, what's happening here? Jump scare.
Traffic accident, get away. Back on the street again.
Little jump scare.
Don't want to run over the pedestrians.
Jumped on the truck, sure. Free ride, we'll take it.
That's a new version of trigger cam. When it's triggers on car cam. What does that become?
That actually is a meta for a couple regions in Bangladesh, where someone is standing on the side of the truck and driving along with it.
Amazing. A rare one at that. As captain so far is just kind of plunked it into Nairobi, or at least a little bit north there of Spaghette, pretty much joining him side by side. Yeah, they're both going to set up here.
Yep.
It's going to be close.
No, whether we are east or west or north or south of it, they both go fairly close to the capital. Not much happening here.
Not much at all. As we make our way into round number 4. Foggy, rocky river location, or maybe just open water. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Could be all the way. Yeah, exactly. Towards the north there.
I don't know on which side we are. If it is still on BC or on the Alaska side. I think more Alaska with this guardrail, because usually in British Columbia you have concrete guardrails rather than these metal ones. So, and also double yellow, more common in the US. So I think we could be in US, maybe on that peninsula where Ketchikan is. I am not very certain about that though.
Still going
Neither
up the road.
them.
It's like when you're in
seen
Norway.
them.
You know that around the corner there could be info, but you could also be going for 600 kilometers without seeing anything at all. Hoping
Very possible.
that maybe something presents itself. Captain jumping from lake to lake. Not gonna commit in the end. Spaghette though. What a great lockdown.
It's a great guess, getting the right span of the road there as well.
Incredible guess coming through from Spaghette. Make our way into round number 5. And instantly we have text available once more.
Yeah, actually Hungary. Didn't think of it with how hilly it was in first glance, but you have some hilly parts in Hungary. Most of it is right where Captain guessed, where you have the highest elevation.
Very
Northeast
unique
of
arrows
Budapest. True.
on the signs there.
Yeah, also the
For
fact
people
that
learning.
it's green. Green town signs also not too common
Yeah.
over the world. Oh,
Right
it's even
country.
further east.
Wrong area. Bit towards the southwest on that one. It's gonna pretty much even things up here between the two halfway through this first game. As we see here into round number 6 we go.
Round number 6, and we are in Oman. It's very flat deserty. We should be somewhere central because the mountains are in the south and north of the country. In the middle you have those flat deserts. From then on you usually try to line up the road. However, we are like somewhat in a curve and also enter a village. What would you say? There are just like 4 or 5 buildings here. Don't know if we will get to see more than that. So let's see what the approach is, because Spaghette is going for the lineup and the scanning, whereas Captain is still moving and looking for more information.
Yeah.
I must say Oman isn't the most information heavy country. You don't really get too much things that will tell you where you are in the country. So therefore I like Spaghette's approach more of just lining it up and trying to find an alignment on the road.
Something to go towards the northern border. Spaghette a little bit further north than it was all the way down south. I think that's where Spaghette started, actually. Or at least hovered down initially. Still going to be a decent chunk of damage done towards Captain, but could have been even bigger had he opted to stick around.
And once again, we are in Germany. We have Aachen, which is a city on the triangle between Belgium and Netherlands. Right there, Captain has it, and from then on you use the other town names. We have even Luxembourg on the sign. Trier, Bitburg, Prüm,
A lot of
all
info.
findable. We apparently drive on the 51 and we are on the 421, so you try to find those two numbers, click in the middle of them, and 5
A rare moving around where you don't really have to move at all, because you have a plethora of info available right next to you. We'll see if it's going to be a 10k. Spaghette has, well, at least right now, 6 seconds to make that happen, but it doesn't seem like they're fully in agreement exactly where we are. It's going to be further north.
Yeah.
A lot of roads in and around that area. Can't really fault them for not getting the 100% lineup.
True, true. We have the 14 here. Should be somewhere in Sao Paulo where you get the 1 digit. I mean, I've explained this earlier. If you know you have the 1 in front, then you know you're in Sao Paulo. And then you can learn the 2nd digit one, the 4. That will tell you where in Sao Paulo we are. Don't really know where the 4s were though. We have Eastern Sao Paulo and Western Sao Paulo. Since Captain had the area code, I would believe that we are in Western Sao Paulo. But Spaghette's still getting the right state here. He's actually on it. Yeah.
Great guess.
Very good
With
guess.
the multipliers, it's gonna be big. Not quite enough to take down Captain, but close there too.
That was scarier than I expected it to be.
Yeah,
Very.
That's Brazil. That's what it does to you.
Yeah. But now, as we know, Captain is from Sweden.
Home
And
field advantage, potentially. We'll see if he gets
looks
any
like-
any city indicators. Not just yet. Usually, Sweden is pretty generous with city indicators in every, like, even smaller intersection. But we'll see. There should be something right up here. You'd have to imagine. Like going one road further up, you'd think there was something, but no. Actually, Captain is looking to go Finland now.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt you. I was waiting for you to finish to tell you it is actually Finland.
Good on you. Thanks for letting me fry for a little while longer.
I wasn't sure. I'm joking. I was not sure here. But hey, being from Sweden, you know you can rule out Sweden.
That's true.
You know.
Spaghetti knows as well.
That's what I meant. What the advantage is as being a
yes.
Swede, and look at that.
Yes.
A lot of points, and now it's very, very close. Most likely, in the next round, we will have a deciding one, especially in Australia. We have a short reflector. Actually, is it a short reflector? I'm not sure. No, not really. Okay, therefore, it doesn't really rule out or rule in anything. Could be anywhere. But it looks like we have New South... Was it New South Wales Cadre endings? No, it was the black ones, right? Is it Victoria then? Not
It was a yellow one on one side.
Ending.
Well, they didn't have the same shape as the other ones usually do. So you tell me,
see.
expert,
We have
Martin's
information.
Creek? Is that big enough to maybe appear on the map?
I mean, with how mountainous it is, I would assume that we're more on the eastern side of Victoria, where you get more of this elevation. But yeah, right outside Melbourne, you also have pretty big mountains, so I don't hate Captain's guess. If you go by
there.
chances, it's maybe more east, but I could see it both.
Both there and
It
both
was-
close, but that's round 10. And it's gonna be... Yeah, not gonna happen. Captain losing that one, moving, gone all the way, and look at their health bar. They were both sat under 600. But Spaghette able to turn this one around and get himself a win on the board.
No move. We will have them both spawning in, looking
Ooh.
around.
Any rainbow blur meta available?
Not to my knowledge. It's probably just some stitching error on
Graphic
this road.
cards glitch meta, maybe?
I think there's like one very far western island in France where it happens a lot, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
that is true. Jersey, I've seen that. Where it was all weirdly green. Is it Jersey? I think so.
I mean, that's not France.
Well, true. But I think I saw it there anyway.
It
Downtown
has some
Paris
distinct
gets-
camera, that's for sure, yeah. I know what you mean. with the
Sometimes
camera.
downtown Paris just gives you rounds.
Yeah,
But I'm pretty sure I saw it in Jersey. Nonetheless, let's get in.
could happen.
to
But
round
it can happen
17.
anywhere, I think.
True.
It's very, like... It's common, but at the same time, it's only happening for, like, a short stretch on the road most of the times.
Yeah. True.
Let's
What do we have here?
We have carga y descarga. Not much useful information. Giving you the loading zone information, but we are in Spain. We have some language. That helps.
Does indeed. Send a plonk in Madrid. Spaghette win Paris
Yep.
last round. Now it's
From
opting to go
Paris
Madrid.
to Madrid.
It's not often that it
That's-
works out that way, that you can do that at this level of play, but sometimes either A, you don't get the info you need, or B, you could actually be on point by sending it to the capital.
It's a very weird architecture.
Oh! All the way north.
I couldn't place architecture anywhere, but I guess that makes sense, being all the way up there. Don't blame them, it was very hard. Now we are in Thailand, it seems like we are driving left. We have a concrete slabbed road, they are checking the copyright.
And we have text, but Spaghette hasn't seen it yet. Look right, my mans. There you go. But I think it might be too far away to really read anything. If they can even understand the
Yeah,
language that is.
I don't know if they read Thai, but nonetheless it looks northern. Do like it. And yeah, look at that. Very, very close, Captain. But Spaghette also in the north, and therefore not much happening here. Alright. Chugoku, I think. We are in Japan.
Yeah? Is this where Captain goes quickly because he doesn't want to give Spaghette a chance to get any info? Or are we at a point now where home field advantage in Japan doesn't really matter?
No, it doesn't
Unless
matter
if you've driven
here.
down the road, of course. Then.
Yes. In a moving game, I would also consider sending it quick.
Mm-hmm.
But on a no move, I think, especially if you know one or two things about Japan, if you know your polls, I think it won't really matter too much.
Yeah.
But I thought this is Chugoku, where Captain was initially, and he's back there. Okay, I think it is this region. He does stay there, whereas Spaghette doesn't agree. Ooh,
Let's see.
This could be scary. I'm not
Captain is
very
locked
confident.
west of Okayama. Spaghette is all the way up towards Tokyo. Big distance. Multipliers ain't that stacked, but it's all the way further west than that. A rare miss on that one on the side of Spaghette, losing over 3,000 points in his home country. But then again, I mean, very tricky location, limited info to go by. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but to some extent, Japanese locations are a lot like Sweden, where foliage and whatnot can be very similar in multiple areas of the country.
Yep. And yeah, I do agree. By default, you probably go central north here, or a bit more northwest. I mean, I can't really work with anything here. One screen is already locked in, and one has half the map open.
There
But
you go. What?
they got it.
Insane. Insane login
got it.
by Spaghette. Barely even zoomed into Turkey either. But able to get the road down. Incredible guess by him, who, I mean, again, I feel like he's really grown through the latter portion of this tournament.
Definitely.
And I think had the tournament been maybe 28 weeks rather than 21, there's a good chance that he would have found himself way further towards the top on the overall leaderboard. But at least for now, can see himself satisfied with having made it to the APAC Major. And it's, I guess just down the street for him.
It is, pretty much.
Pretty big. Honestly, we haven't even taken that into consideration. Pretty big that the Japanese player, one of them, is able to qualify for the Japanese regional. Obviously, we have Sheena in already, but for Spaghette to now go out and contest that home field advantage, that's a big deal for him, I'd imagine.
Yep, I would imagine that as well. It's very nice to see. We are in Iceland here, I don't know.
More trees in this frame for Captain than in the rest of Iceland combined.
Probably.
That's usually a pretty big tell. There's no trees anywhere, as the dude jumped quite a bit apart of this downtown Reykjavik. Guys, you've been so good at just hard locking your way into capitals. This time around you should have, but you didn't, and it's gonna be game for Captain because of it. Now, into NMPC we go with the 1-1 score.
Yep, we are going over to NMPZ. I think Captain is still a bit frustrated about the
moving game.
moving game, yes.
Of course.
Because it was so close and it came down to them both going outside Melbourne and losing on that.
And he's
due to the final round.
What could look to be the most difficult regional to get points in. Because it's only going to be top 4, I believe, in the MEA regional that gets points. And you're up against Blinky, Kansas, Dipper, Finbar. I mean, that's
Yep.
It's gonna be insanely difficult, no doubt.
Europe is stacked for sure. Not gonna be easy for anyone, really.
True.
And yeah, we are in India. These palm trees are more common along the east coast, I think. But on a very long stretch as well. And we have them both on the east coast. Love to see that. Besides that, I don't see anything else which you could take as a clue to region guess. We don't really see a pole, which is also usually helpful in India to have. But yeah, in this case, we only really get the palms to use and make a region guess on. And with that, you try to go more towards the east coast. They both are. So let's see if it is indeed or not.
Oh, ooh, Spaghette hovering Sri Lanka didn't want to commit in the end. So they're going to be close to one another.
It could have been closer from Sri Lanka.
Yeah, true. Could have been all the way down there, but round one's not going to amount to too much damage. It's going to keep the race still very much open between these two. Into round 2 we go, and what are we seeing here?
Not much. It's
That
a
is
field,
true.
red soil, fences. Immediately makes you think of either Thailand or Brazil.
I knew you were going to say those two countries are close there too, and I'm like, yeah, immediately going to make me think of two countries on each their side of the planet, which has me excited.
Yep, but with how the road is...
Do
I mean, the road isn't really built, but with how wide and open it is, I'm thinking more of Brazil rather than Thailand.
I was going
So
to
I
ask,
feel
do
like-
you get fields this big in Thailand, or is the foliage more condensed?
Yep, it's... I would say the road would probably be a bit tighter in...
And one thing is the road size, but I'm just more thinking like
Thailand.
fully horizon length fields in Thailand. Is that common?
That can happen, yeah.
Okay.
That can definitely happen.
I haven't done my full scan
Very,
of Thailand
very
yet.
diverse in landscapes.
Let's see. Spaghette is south, Captain is central Brazil, big distance in a big country, and it's all the way in
It was east of
Colombia.
Andes. I thought about it because of the fences, but I mean, that's something you do consider, but it's not easy to send there. I mean, in
That
a
is
solo
true.
game, you can try it. In a duels game, that's so risky to go there, even though it
There's
does
your
make
Thailand
sense.
round. This time around, they seem more confident.
No, we are in Thailand again. Looks sudden. I can't say it for sure, though.
Let's see. Captain, downtown Bangkok. When in doubt, go capital. We'll see. He almost did that in the Reykjavik round, and he won because of it. This one, though, it's going to be a bit further down towards south. It's going to cost him 500 health and set him down by just a bit as we may go into round 4.
Interesting round. But again, another round where I don't really know what to use. Looks very, very generic. My vibe is... a round pole. I mean, it's a lamppost rather than a electricity pole, so I don't know if you can really use that to make a guess, but it looks like Brazil, based on the architecture, especially like in the distance, how the town is built. If you do count that as a pole,
Yeah.
which I think you can do. I think there are some wires going along it. And it's round. That's more of a southern thing.
Sao Paulo plunk
Yep.
for captain. Spaghette has his marker in the same city as well, so would be minimal points between the two here should he opt to log in. He's hovering towards Rio as well, though, but no, I'm not going to change up his guess here. They're both going to be in the city proper, and they're both going to be equally 1,200 kilometers from the target.
It looks very weird. I mean, if you trust a pole, again, you go by chances.
Yeah,
and
of
Sao
course.
Paulo does make a lot of sense because you get a lot of round poles there. But going against it is a big risk, which I don't know if it's worth taking, especially if you know your opponent is probably also going to guess Sao Paulo.
Definitely. Captain. He is looking very specifically here.
Yeah,
What
it's
is
very
he
far
eyeing in
south.
the city?
I mean, it's very dry. I feel like it would be more lush green towards the north in Argentina.
Okay.
Could be a seasonal thing, though. If the season makes it look more dry. Get that enough in the country. But I do agree we should be further south in the country. Now, how far south we are, though, I can't tell. Not very far south, but still a long stretch along the Patagonia region of Argentina.
Let's see. Neither of the players wanting to lock in, letting the timer run all the way out as they are set with some distance in between them, and it's going to be even further towards the south. And with the multipliers starting to increase, things are getting a little scary here. Spaghette set at now just over 2,000 health.
Yeah, I don't even know if you really get more Gen 4 further south from where it was. So it was pretty much as south as it could have been. Almost, I think. So that would have been, again, a big commitment. Could have won the game for someone, but yeah. It's, again, a thing you just don't want to take the risk for.
Yesterday I learned that A poles are in Argentina. Easy way to remember.
True.
Can't quite see if that's an A pole, though, in the distance there. Is it with the thingy across
I
the
think
middle?
it's just a leaner. I don't see a middle span.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
But
a support,
nonetheless, they're
I
both
think.
in Argentina, so thank you guys for for vibing with me on this one.
Especially this basket on the side, this trash bin basket, the green one. That is very common in like Argentina. You see it also in Brazil, but this doesn't look like Brazil, so therefore
True.
you consider more Argentina. You also see it in Chile, but this doesn't look like Chile, so you're in Argentina.
Is this the third Argentina round in this NMPC? I think it might be. We've really been down here a lot, and great guesses on both their parts here. 100 kilometers off target, not an easy call to make. But Captain able to maintain and extend his lead by a little bit. Wow, there's a theme going today.
Are in around 7 already. The captain is sitting on 4.9k on round 7 in MPZ.
What
Even
sends
though
them
we had a
France
lot
here?
of big countries.
What sends them France? Just
The elevated
vibes?
road, the elevated side on the road is a very French thing.
Okay.
The pointed top on the pole is also a very French thing. And yeah, if you use both, again, you go by the chances. Region guessing that, I don't know.
It's
How region
worth
guessable that
56
one
points
was.
is what it is. It's gonna be incredibly tricky.
Again, there was potential for a lot of points. We had a lot of
yes.
potential. We had a potential in Argentina, we had it in Brazil, we had it in France. So from now
Open
on, you
fields again.
can no one blame than yourself, because there was a lot of room, there was opportunities to close
Yep.
out the game.
Chat, what are you thinking here? What are we thinking? Open fields once more in this NMPC that could just go all the way. Captain hovering South Dakota. Spaghette is in Nebraska proper.
I like Nebraska.
Not both there.
Kansas, that area.
China, East Germany. Chat is all over the place today. Why did I even ask? Yeah. I like to get their guesses in. It's a good time. We'll see if they're going to be right. There's probably someone in chat that's going to 5k this. We'll see. Maybe that's the path. He bikes to school every day, or she. Are you a Nebraska native? Are you in agreement with Captain and Spaghette here? Then you might be in for a good time. What are we thinking?
We'll
What
find
are we
out.
seeing?
Hey,
Border
Nebraska.
territory.
Nebraska, Kansas click would have
The
made
fact
it
that
here.
Their distance is still 1,000 damage is insane. And now Spaghette, a tough challenge. Okay, there really is something going on with these routes today. As we go into open fields once again. Is there a small world where this is Denmark? I'm thinking more Germany, but the houses on the left. And is it windmills on the right?
Looks like it. I mean, really both can happen.
You would have had
both
bullets
sides.
in Denmark, I think, in this. Even on a small road like this, you would have had bullets in Denmark.
It is also 23 copyright, right? So
Oh, that's
also
your knowledge, not me and
something
mine.
that leads you more towards Germany. Also, don't hate the Belgium guess. I don't hate it. The architecture looks a lot like there, but yeah. Should be
As
Germany.
Denmark as can be without being Denmark, I suppose. We're gonna go all the way north, and Spaghette is gonna be beaten by Captain. It was all the way up to Puttgarden. which is currently having a massive tunnel built from Denmark. So good on you, Puttgarden, any representatives out there. Let yourself be known in chat. Captain able to turn things around and get himself a 2-1 win over Spaghette. Much needed points for him. But I think most importantly here for Spaghette, Geolotus is points here, but he was already through, so looking very solid in that one too.
Yep. I mean, probably if you start into the league, you took it on the light show, you thought like, I mean, it's just a start, who cares, don't need to lock in, but hey, you got proven that every single game counts. So even though he made it through, still, you need to lock in for every game, and now we have Lenley versus Blinky playing.
Big game. Big game between two big places. Did I say Riga? No, Valka. Okay, I misread that one. I thought it said Riga on the sign.
Should be findable. It is on the other side. Is it Valga? It's saying Valka on the sign, but there's a Valga. Estonia.
Lenley knows. He's wearing the Blinky beanie out of respect of his world champion opponent. Almost able to line up the 5k there.
Oh, that's what the beanie is for. Okay.
Of course, you need the Blinky brain power if you want to be able to get that one. Lenley knows that you gotta go fast. We have Aarhus Christian started further towards the south if you want to get that one. 23 kilometers. There you have it. Great call on the side of Blinky. Should be able to, if not fully line this one up, then at least get closer to the target than Lenley. There you go.
That's the extra 15 seconds. Just are enough to get even more precise and put in more points down on the board. Now we are in Taiwan. They will look at the plates for sure. I mean, in a moving game, maybe not necessarily. But based on the letter on the pole plate, you know where you are in the country. But you, in general, have good signage anyway throughout the country. So in a moving game, I think you ignore trying to read the plate and just move to find a better sign.
Lenley goes down towards the western tip. We'll see if Blinky opts to follow. Towards Kaichung. Yep, they're both there. Oh, Taichung, sorry. A little further towards the south thereof.
It's like
close to target once again.
Blinky was counting down because he had an area code and it looked like he was on the map, imagining the area code maps in his head, counting it all the way down there, getting precise.
Whatever works, man. Whatever works. As we now make it into round number 5 between these two. 4-9-3-4 on average on the side of Blinky. Man, this guy's a world champion for a reason.
A lot of Germany rounds today, I must say.
Yeah. Feels full.
That's good for Lenley. But
I suppose so.
You're also playing against Blinky. Sigma Ringen. Got the Sigma Ringen. If you know that Landkreis. Southwest of Ravensburg. Seems like Lenley also got to it. Scanning for the town, I assume.
Yeah. Not able to get it. Blinky, though, right outside, and all Lenley can do is smile, knowing that this is not going to be an easy one.
He probably blanked because it felt like he was like trying to remember where it was.
Happens. Let's see now as we go to Japan. Oh, wow. A ton of info available early on.
Yep. For both of them, Blinky stays on it. Lenley actually trying to look at the plate to know in which region of the country is. That's also how I play Japan. If I get a good sign, I still look for a pole, so I know where I have to scan for it.
Yeah. Is it dangerous to be too reliant on one meta in these cases? It might be. I don't know. But nonetheless, Blinky, casual, almost 5k lined up once again. And even if Lenley gets in a good guess, Blinky's still going to be closer. We're good, Lenley says. All I have to do is stack those multipliers and he can potentially turn this one around.
One rule round where you insta-send it and can turn it around.
Oh yeah. We've seen it happen before. Many times at that with everyone involved. Lenley sending it now just south of Istanbul. What are you thinking here, Jill?
I do not like that at all.
Okay. Explain quickly.
Because it's the wrong country.
Well, there you go. That's a good explanation. I think Lenley is realizing now as well, going GG in the chat before the guesses come through. And it was, in fact, in Bulgaria. A bit of distance to the right location, but nonetheless, that's going to be moving. Taken home by Blinky. Whoops.
GG's. I mean, he had the pressure on him. I don't blame him.
I can't see what
Bulgaria
the
and Turkey
says, but the smile from Blinky as well, he knows. They're having a good time. Again, both these players, of course, in the EMEA region. I think with the points that Blinky has gotten, he's already in the World Championship as well. I'm not fully sure, so I don't want to say that too soon. But he's looking very good. Lenley, though, I think realizing fully well that winning move against Blinky, it's going to be that easy.
Yeah. Not easy at all. So I assume Lenley will lock in even more now.
A little wave to kick things off. A little wave back. See, they're having a good time. It's the final week. They've both played an impressive tournament to get to where they are. Now they get to have some fun here in the end of it.
Exactly. This looks like some new stuff. Saying that because it doesn't look like something I know.
Brunswick guess for Blinky. First one to log in.
Yep, the road does look a lot like New Brunswick because you have a lot of bad road quality in New Brunswick. But
still further west.
I didn't hate Lenley's guess based on the season and the looks, and especially because it looked like new coverage, and you got a lot of new coverage released where Lenley guessed.
Chat's saying Lenley has a bigger chance than no move. I would agree. If it was because it just took 2,600 damage in round 1. A tough way to begin things as we go into round number 2.
Exactly, and now we are in South Africa. Especially with those poles. What do you call it? Is it like...
Bigger than
V
smaller
shape.
than?
It's a V shape, but to the side.
Yeah,
like
so
a
bigger
big
than,
arrow.
smaller than.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's very common in the northeast.
There you go.
In South Africa.
Let's see. Is Blinky gonna give Lenley a chance in this one? Oh, well, nope, he's not gonna need it. He got himself around. Very pleased with that. Got himself around against the world champion.
Not getting flawless is always a good feeling.
That's true. That is true.
Look at that. Let's hope he doesn't send Bulgaria now. The other way around. Because now we are in Turkey.
Today.
Yeah?
What are you thinking here?
I'm trying to look at stuff. See, the problem is they aren't really looking at what I want to look at. Okay, that is a southern water tanks.
Ah, okay.
And Lenley got it. And yeah, I mean, they both got coached by me, so they both know the water tank.
Oh, humble brag, humble brag. I respect it. So is it exclusive to Iskenderun and around there, or?
Not exclusive, but the other areas look very different. I mean, you also get it around Amarrain, and this does not look like Amarrain, and they do know that. But it was towards it.
Yeah?
It was towards it. It's like mostly in the southern peninsula, Hatay, and it makes a big curve, pretty much to where the location was, and then like a curve around Gaziantep.
Chad is saying bad coaching. I agree. Couldn't even 5k after getting coached by main man Gelotris.
I blame them.
Into round 4 we go. Blinky up 1-0 so far. What are we looking at here? Beautiful location. Wouldn't mind a vacation in these mountains.
Get my side notes that it can be further north. See,
fair enough.
That's where the students fail.
We get a patch update on the Gelotris info sheet.
What do we have here? We have some poles, but I don't know if they are very helpful. I mean, this one looks like
a crossbow.
Kyushu pole top almost, which is the most southern region in Japan. Where Lenley is also hovering with his pin. Therefore, I like Lenley's guess a lot. That's where I would have guessed.
Let's see. They're going to commit to not Blinky. Only now opening the map. Hovering over Osaka. Oh, Lenley is jumping around. Last moment. Both going Nagoya, or at least close there too. And it's going to be all the way down there. Oh, Lenley had it. But opted to go further central last second.
Come on now.
He had it. He knew it too. That could have been the game gone his way, but no, not gonna happen.
Nope. I was actually assuming that they both just sent it down in the south and we skipped that round, but kind of surprising they both didn't go for it.
A lot on the line
This
here. We know
should
they're
be-
smiling, having a good time, but still, it's important points to guarantee yourself a spot at the World Championship.
Hear me out. There's a good
Okay.
chance for this to be Greece.
Fair. What are you thinking?
But there's a short plate. I mean, Greece has some short plates. But
So they-
especially this patch on the road. You see this black patch along the road.
Yeah.
That's a very good clue for Greece because
They only
they
fix roads in Greece.
know the internet cables go along it and they patch it
Oh.
over on the roads.
Okay, well, Blinky is in Italy.
But yeah, I mean, we have a short plate, so Italy might be more likely.
But is it
Just
Italian plate?
say-
I can't make that out. That's usually pretty distinguishable as Lenley jumping around now going Italy as well. Was in Albania, was in Greece. We'll go back to Italy and we'll be happy for doing so.
Yep, good thing they didn't get gaslit by the internet cable meta in Greece.
True, true. I almost did, I believed you. But good thing I wasn't the one guessing.
Now, what do we have here? Looks like Indonesia to me, maybe Sulawesi with how many palms we have.
Get a pole. It's very well disguised in between all the trees there. But
Yes.
at least it's there.
Therefore, I also don't really see any usable clue on it. Besides that, as I said, the amount of palms will put you more towards Sulawesi.
Worth
Again,
mentioning
going
as
by
well, of
chances.
course, that this is the final game for both Blinky and Lenley. Blinky has crossed into 100 points, which is, I mean, completely insane to me. Incredibly impressive performance by Blinky, trying to, of course, remain the world champion for 2025 as well. So that's going to be the case later on in the year. As they're both off by a bit. Another frustrating moment. It's not often you catch Blinky in the wrong location, but Lenley, now for the second time, not able to capitalize on it.
Again, that was like the default you do.
Yep.
If you see palm trees, go Sulawesi, and if you don't have anything else to confirm it, then just go for it, because
Blinky
there's no
goes
point in trying
Botswana
some
here.
funny stuff.
What's the Botswana call in this round? Because I think many would default into South Africa.
I mean, I don't know. The vibe.
both there.
Okay, I know. I don't want to say the vibes, but Botswana has like 10 rows covered, and if you've seen them a couple of times, you just
Oh, they're
know
on the
what
same
Botswana
point. Oh, I
looks
thought
like.
there was a 5K. They're literally in the exact same spot.
Yeah, they pretty much lined up the roads and used the curve in the distance probably on both sides.
What a round. Now,
Over now we are in Greece. Do we have some patchings? Not really, but we
More
have the
internet
polls this
cables.
time. We also have a domain actually with GR. Also a good clue for Greece is that the polls are a bit higher. That's something you pick up a bit. If you're like a bit more advanced into the game, you can tell that these polls are actually a bit higher than usual polls.
so
That's
Blinky is
reasonable.
opted to go roads. Lenley's going to go mainland towards Athens instead. Was looking to go Crete, but not going to be. It's actually going to be right in between them. I say right in between, not quite. And it's going to not be enough. Hold that GG, Lenley. The race is still on, but would require a big blunder from Blinky now with 2 rounds left to play. But maybe this is the location for that to happen.
Yeah, this time Blinky really committed all the way to roads. Could have just hedged the islands and won that way. But could have, should have. He needs to log in for this one. It looks like we are in Mexico, based on the landscape. Don't really get a look on the pole. I can't tell if it's octagonal or not. I mean, if it's not Mexico, it might be southern US. I'm not sure here. Wish I could get a better look on the pole to confirm it, but that's my thoughts for now. Oh, that's actually very far north in the US for Lenley.
Definitely. Gotta try and go for something brave in round 9. Lenley's going all the way up there. Blinky staying in Mexico.
Okay, he switched.
He jumped down again. Gonna be close, but not close enough. This is gonna be the GG. So Blinky able to come out victorious 2-0, but a little bit of a shaky performance there. I'd like to think in the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, it went
Tricky,
back and forth.
very tricky seat
And
though.
so, yeah, I was about to say the locations didn't make it easy as well. But I also felt like Lenley had a little bit of pressure on him.
Oh yeah,
Against
no doubt.
Blinky.
No
that
doubt.
wasn't the usual Lenley performance. I feel like he was a bit pressured, but that is fair against Blinky.
No
Feel
doubt
that
about
extra
it.
pressure.
Here we can see the scores coming through. V8-9, okay, important one at that. Not getting any points against Stfan. Now, he still has 3 games left to play later today to try and catch up. Clement as well, only getting 1 point against Amarrain, who, I mean, impressive by him. 2-0ing Lenley earlier, now taking down Clement as well. Good comeback for him, even if it is a bit too late in the race. But here we see the standings after the first bracket of games done. Of course, there are more games to be played tonight. Wow. Wow, wow, oh, wow. Look at the leaderboards. APAC Majors ending in a tie, or almost a tie. 1 point ahead for Spaghette Kirania. And then in Americas, it's 2 points separating Orlando and Ocean Man. And then in EMEA, it's still not decided. Trishta has 1 game left to play. Pan, I believe, has 1 game left to play as well. And V8-9 still with 3.
Yeah.
It's on them now. It's on them now. That's what I like about this. It's on them now. Malfunction and Mada are done. They're sat locked in at 61 and 60 points respectively. Trishta knows what he needs to do in order to qualify. Same thing for Pan to some extent. I mean, Pan desperately needs a 3-point win in his next game. V8-9, a bit more buffer with 3 games to play, but that's really how this is going to be lined up now. We are going to go to an interview with a guest that you and I have actually chatted to in the past, but it's going to be great to have him on board here once again. It was right down to the wire, but in the end, Spaghette gets the final spot at the APAC Major. Congratulations, Spaghette. How are you feeling?
It was pretty stressful last week. I was hoping like I could just kind of, you know, blow it off and it'd be okay, but it came down to the wire, so I'm pretty relieved that it's over now.
Did you follow the other matches in the beginning of the day? Like, specifically, did you follow Kirania's games? Did you know what you had to do in order to qualify? You did. How did the match against Malfunction, just to go back to that one first, because we thought for a second you were going to climb through the monitor in that NMPC game when you were stood up looking at the screen. How did that game feel? Talk me through it.
I think for the NMPC game, I was kind of making like a lot of pretty bad mistakes. I think I went like, what was it, like Brazil on Philippines or something?
That was a tricky one.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really fully locked in, but I mean, I think the Hokkaido round that we got in No Move was pretty difficult, and I'm pretty happy I got that one. But
for sure,
I'm pretty bummed out about the moving game because I did get to an area code, but I like blanked on it and went somewhere completely different. So I think, I don't know, but it was like just enough to get me through. So
all good. Any questions from you, Delocious?
Not really. I mean, Spaghette, I can just imagine how much pressure there was on you, especially if you know you have to win 1 or 2 games. Does it apply some extra pressure for you that the majors are being held in your home country, though? Is that something that puts on extra pressure on you because you want to represent Japan there?
I think I would like to go there. I mean, I am going there.
You are going there,
I
indeed.
think like, I don't know. I don't feel like, especially, I think if it was like held in Australia, I would still like to go. Maybe even more so, just because it's like traveling elsewhere, and I don't really travel that much. So, I don't know. It'll be good to meet people though. So that'll be good. Like a lot of the Japanese community, they can't really afford to like go to Europe. So being able to have like a big meeting where everyone from Japan kind of shows up would be cool.
That was going to be my next question to Spaghette, because obviously you and I mean, Angelotus, we've had a chat in the past specifically about the Japanese community, where you've said it's pretty split into different, communication channels and whatnot. Do you think an event like this, now with both you and Sheena kind of waving the Japanese flag at the tournament, do you think this could be an event with it being held in Japan as well, that could potentially, kind of glue together parts of the Japanese community with how, I mean, as you say, everyone hopefully gets a chance to show up and support you guys?
Maybe. I think like last year as well, like having people meet like in person, it's a lot. I think like if it's just like a name and like words on a screen, it's easier to like kind of have beef. But when it's in person, a lot of people got along a lot more. So I think like a bunch of people coming together in Stockholm last year was like really good for the community. So I think maybe something similar might happen in Tokyo, or I'm hopeful that happens. Yeah.
One could only hope. Any final words, any shout outs you want to do to fans? It can be in English, it can be in Japanese, any other language you might speak. You deserve it. You qualified through a very difficult, very hard fought major. And now, I mean, the mic is all yours if there's anyone you want to say thanks to.
I guess I'll speak in Japanese then.
All good. Up to you, man. Up to you.
応援してくださった皆さんとか、家族のみんなとか、あと隣の部屋でなんか叫んでくれてた彼女とかにありがとうと伝えたいです。ありがとうございました。
There you go. Thank you so much, Spaghette, for joining us. Great to hear from you. Excited to see you perform in the Tokyo Tower. It's going to be completely insane. But thank you so much for joining us. Go out and celebrate. Enjoy your qualification, and we'll see you in the APAC Major.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Spaghette.
Amazing to get a chance to chat to Spaghette there, Geologist, and again, just to break down his games. You said it too. How much of a nail biter that was. I mean, knowing that you need that one round when there's no pressure on you, you can kind of maybe sometimes just go out and make it happen. But that was close.
Yep, for us it's just sitting here yapping over it, giving our shout out, being 200 kilometers off, whatever. We're just spectating, but for them it's a lot of pressure, and at the same time I would say a big relief for Spaghette.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Now let's take a look at the schedule for tonight's games, because remember, things aren't done just yet. We still have more games left to be played. And while APAC and Americas has been decided in terms of the regional majors, EMEA is still very much alive, and we're gonna have to wait all the way until the end to see if Trishta can get points on Radu. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be a tough one for Trishta, but we've seen comebacks, we've seen underdog stories happen before, and maybe, just maybe, he can make that happen. There are any matches in particular that you're looking forward to, Geolotris, here?
I mean, especially that. I don't know if you remember when I talked about Trishta and how much I think he deserves to be higher. I mean, at that point, he was a bit down on the leaderboard, and he was like always my secret horse, you know? So therefore, I have to root for him, even though, I mean, they are both friends, Sarsi and Trishta.
Yeah.
But I have that problem with a lot of players here. I'm friends with a lot of them.
That is true.
But yeah, still have to root for my boy Trishta there. I'm really looking forward for that game.
Same am I. But that's going to be later tonight. For now, all we can do is we can sit back, we can look forward to what's going to happen in the future. In a moment, I'm going to go over and do my Between Two Plunks chat as well, so you're welcome to hop on over and join the conversation. I'm going to be joined by Debre, who I know that a lot of people have been waiting to hear yap for a while, so that's going to be interesting. We'll see if you can yap harder than us, just because I think we're pretty good at exactly that at this point. But now with our job of the World League done, any last words you want to share to the community on your behalf now that we're kind of rounding off our part of the tournament?
I mean, just a very big thank you. Maybe for last time you can get your stare emotes out for me. That would be good to see for last time. Let's get all the stares out. And yeah, thank you all for just being very positive. I got a lot of very positive feedback from a lot of people. They really enjoyed the castings and all that. It means a lot to me, and I'm glad I can make that positive impact.
You've been a joy to work with. Even if your Turkey coaching didn't always bring 5Ks along, it's been a good time nonetheless. Thank you everyone so much for joining in for the show. Remember, there's more GeoGuessr tonight and a little chit chat in just a moment. So see you guys later on the day.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.